Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm your charming, self-proclaimed, yet still humble host, Mukluk. Today, we are back in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, which we have been working on our second playthrough of, with all of the DLCs active. Snoofles, thank you for the prime, appreciate that. Clarius says, what did you have for breakfast? You know, recently we bought a box of Eggo waffles, and I've been having Eggos each morning, but I woke up this morning and I'm like, I need a shower, and I took that, and then I was like, I do not have enough time to make Eggo waffles, so I had Pop-Tarts this morning. That is the truth. Let's see, Shock Baton. Let me see, do I want that? Hang on a sec. I know there is some special interactions with the Arbites and, like, clubs and Shock Batons. So, let's see. The sword, what does the sword have? Plus 10% parry, minus 10 to enemy weapon skill when hit. Shock Baton can knock enemies away. I think there's a trait that makes the Shock Batons have the same parry bonus as swords, but I don't have that yet. So, maybe later. What kind of Pop-Tarts? They were ones that we got for my kid, and
So
no, I
that
did
is
not have the
how
Last of Us
servants the law
Pop-Tarts.
operate.
Hang on.
Such coordination, such a wealth of scarlet and gold.
Oh, she's got to talk about the Arbites.
Their dance of blood is more akin to a march, and yet I sense a kinship in our drive to execute those who offend the undying emperor.
Strawberry. My kid likes strawberry Pop-Tarts. My favorite is the brown sugar ones. But that is neither here nor there. Let's see, Blind Madman. Alright, what is down here? S'more ones? Okay, where... Alright, so this is another entrance to the lower area where we've already been. Okay, so we can go back to the upper area. Man, I just realized we have so many wounds just because of the steam vents that we went past earlier. Like, if you don't heal those injuries, they become permanent debuffs. Was that how the wound system works? I gotta refresh. I remember if I go back to the ship, it auto-heals all wounds. But getting back to the ship is not an option right now. Alright, hang on. What do we got? Okay. So who has my highest Medicae? See, 25, 30, 20, 30, 55, 60. Alright, she does.
Blood is my life. Death is my duty.
My appreciation.
I will mend the thread between body and soul.
Alright, we're gonna have to use up a lot of these things.
Noted.
Where are some more?
Though I gave thee my blood and my pain, thou hast ordained that I shall live. Your time has not yet come.
Injuries will not slow
I will
me.
mend the thread between body and soul.
Ministration is a holy task.
Okay, so each med
There's
kit
life in
has two
that.
uses.
Use it wisely.
Just in time.
Oh, going through a lot of these things.
I will mend the thread between body and soul.
I can see bright
Your
colors
time
again.
has not yet come.
Okay, there we go. How far into the game are we? Few hours? Like, we've done, I think this is our third session.
What lies
So maybe
beyond?
8-ish hours? Getting there.
A tantalizing anomaly.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Disarm. Oh my gosh, so many traps.
I better myself through my service.
Oh my god. I think I remember this. I think this guy over here was dying, and he put down like a bunch of traps and leaned against the wall and died.
Duty prevails.
This looks like BG3. Do you also roll dice in this game?
Favors me
Kinda,
today.
but instead of like a 20-sided dice, it's more just like a 100-sided dice. But yeah, there
I'm
is...
better myself
Anytime you
than
do
my
anything, it'll tell you the
service.
percentages. Clearly oblivious to your presence, the soldier mutters incoherently and does not react to anything around him. Oh no, he's still alive. Alright. Got the supplies. Alright. Like, for example, she was just disarming those traps, and it does a check based on their demolition skill, whether or not they can handle the explosives. And demolition is the skill right here. You can see she's got 75 of that. So it's kind of like disarm trap from Baldur's Gate 3. You know, like it checks to see your skill level and whether or not you're successful. Let's see, the wearer of this Lore Imperium test depends on fellowship instead of intelligence. Again, +3 bonus. Okay. Okay, I got a whole bunch of cult people here. Some 10 people, children among them, are huddling together in fear. You see that half of them have black holes where their eyes used to be. Some maintain a gloomy silence, others are wailing. Several armed insurgents are carefully watching over their terrified hostages, snapping every now and then at someone for shaking too much or crying too loudly. Come to your senses, Arlid. Look what you're doing to your own family. A woman of about 60, gray-haired but still strong, is kneeling before a stocky man with thick, pure white beard, stretching her arms toward him. Take pity on us. Let us go. Fanatical old man. Stop talking and embrace redemption. Our children have gained true sight, while you still believe the lie. Upon seeing you, the man points his weapon at you. The other insurgents do the same. Who are you and why are you here? No, you tell me. Who are you, and what are you doing to these unfortunates? I'm the chief. My former name, Arlid, is meaningless now. I'm a father leading his family to deliverance from woes, to salvation. Aurora has opened my eyes to the truth, and my children will see it. You know, it said he saw me as I approached, so he's doing this to other people, but he hasn't even done it to himself. Arlid, spare us. Save your children. His mind and soul are pierced by shards of a colorful deception. Hues once twisted by despair and the Immaterium's influence can never be the same again. Pascal's Vox hisses furiously. Layperson, cognition is not your primary function. You are saving your kin by holding them at gunpoint and believe that burning their eyes will grant them sight? It is evident that the author of your demagogic teaching that confused you meant to make a mockery of your deplorable intellect. I remember when the Vizier used to sew our eyes shut so that his young spinners would see the truth. Kibla's voice sounds hollow, but there are glowing embers of fury in her eyes. Our ritual was one of service to him. It tempered and prepared us for our duty. What you are working here is despicable heresy, a blasphemous mockery of our sacred disciplines. Yo, she's like nostalgic for the time that her eyes were sealed shut? What the heck? Logic 100%. You've been torturing your own family in order to save them. You've been blinding them so that they could see the truth. Those who lack faith cannot grasp the truth and will not be saved. The old man is obstinate, but you sense that the confidence in his voice has diminished. So you asked about skill checks. If I mouse over this right here, it says logic, the chance will be 100%. So it doesn't have like where you roll a nat 1 in Baldur's Gate, you know, and you get an auto fail, or a nat 20 is an auto success. But you can see based on his skill level that it's just going to be a success, just hands down. But if the chance was less than 100%, it would roll a dice. Think about it. What good has the Final Dawn done for anyone? Some have died, some have had their eyes burnt out, some have gone insane. But they said the end was near. They promised salvation. I wanted nothing else. The man's weapon falls from his hand to the ground. He clutches his head. There's no washing the blood from your hands, but you could at least let us go, Arlid. The ones that you haven't mutilated yet. The old man gestures to the other insurgents who lower their weapons. Then he shifts his gaze back to you, trying to hold back tears. What happens to us now? So I said we were doing a dogmatic playthrough, which is extremely for the Emperor, and it's also pretty ruthless. Kill the old man. Your family will be taken care of. As for you, I condemn you to death. The old man's body falls to the ground. As soon as the hostages see it, they start moving faster and soon disappear around the bend. Well, talked our way out of that fight.
What curiosity unveils itself before me?
Let's see. He had a bolt pistol, some chainmail, and a couple of frag grenades. And there's a trap here.
Cast your eye there. See? Right there.
So if we had had a fight here, there would have been traps involved.
The Emperor favors me today.
The cover was haphazardly assembled from whatever the rebels could find.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Bunch of cargo, yoink. Command center. Alright, don't know if I'm ready to go in there yet. The goods in this stall are a stark contrast to the rest of the nearby shops. The jars are labeled. All-purpose synth powder fills you up no matter what. Made in Necromunda's best factories.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
More cargo, yoink. Okay, think we've got everything. Alright, now we'll go to the next map. To be honest, she's a member of an Imperial death cult. She's trained as an assassin from birth, and the whole sealing their eyes ritual means they would learn to fight in complete darkness while blind. Yeah. It's just pretty crazy. She sees that, and she's just like, they're doing it all wrong. For the Emperor, for the Golden Throne. What's up, Jose? Oh, level up. Nice. Alright, let's do that first in case a fight breaks out. Okay. Let's see. Warrior. It's easy target. Isolation. Let's see. Where's the stuff for Arbites? I think it was here. Law and Order. Can parry incoming attacks with a ranged weapon. With a one-handed shock baton or a one-handed power maul equipped, you gain 10% chance to parry and reduce the weapon skill of enemies hit with a weapon by 10 until end of combat. This weapon also does 25% more critical damage. That's it. So that gives the sword bonuses to those blunt weapons and then also more. Alright, we're going to do strength. And then let's go back to here. Shock baton. Zap. Alright. Our Psyker. Let's see. Logic takes... Alright, so what's our current one? That's 40, 40, 40, 70, 40, 40. So our highest thing is awareness? Sure. Willpower. I think we do int. Alright. The Sister of Battle. Let's see. Let's see, Alacrity. Evening Exiles. I'm at Faithful as the Ever. What's up, Cal? What's the crown thing? It's a silly new feature that YouTube just forced on all the streams, and it's not something I can turn off. Basically, during each stream, the people who have chatted or donated the most get those crowns. It's like a weird little leaderboard thing. Let's see, enough bullets for everyone. Is YouTube royalty now? I guess so. All kings and queens over there. Morning chat. Hi, Velmore. Is there a chance the enemy? Fortress, the better behind cover. That's not bad. If full health plus 10 ballistic skill and 2 movement points. Wait, what? Chain weapon expert? Chain weapons gain plus 40. What is a chain weapon? I wonder if that was added in one of the DLCs. I don't know what a chain weapon is. I know what Laz is. That's lasers, bolters, flamers. I know all those. It's referring to like chainsword, I think. Okay. Alright. Alright. I can understand that. Plus 2 movement. Everyone needs the movement stuff. Okay. Navigator. Let's see. 45, 80, 40, 50. Let's get awareness for her. Fellowship. Alright. Tech Priest. Logic of tech use is what I was building on him. And pick one of these. Probably ballistic skill. Alright, and Blade Dancer. Enemies attacked by the Blade Dancer have weapon skill, ballistic skill, perception reduced by 10 till start the next turn. Death Warden. Your Medicae is now determined by weapon skill instead of intelligence. You deal Medicae bonus crit damage. What? And can use medkits as if having Medicae skill advancement with the corresponding feature. What? Your medicine skill boosts your critical damage. That's a wild one. Surgery with chainsword? Yeah, I guess. Blade Dancer's parry is increased by toughness bonus, and attacker's melee critical hit chance bonus determined by the difference between these attacks. Melee area attacks cost -1 but no less than 1. Can you use Desperate Measure heroic down the same combat? Blood Rush. Do additional damage against enemies armed with a melee weapon. +3 weapon skill and +3 agility for every injury they're currently suffering. Just get as many ribs broken as you can. Guillotine. Death Removal does double damage to enemies that have less than half health. If all the strikes made from Blade Dance are on the same target, the last strike does double damage. Oh, that's huge. So Blade Dance is you do 3 random attacks around you. And if there's only one enemy near you, all 3 hits hit that guy. And this, so, you know, single target. So this makes the last hit much harder. Yeah, I'll take that. All right, done with there. Chat, give me just a second. I'm gonna blow my nose, and I'll be right back. Okay, much better. Knowing medicine to aim for the hurty bits. Yep. Yep, that would make sense. Okay, how did I play all Warhammer games all these years and don't know the chainsaw theme is? No. I know the chainsaw stuff, Cal. When they just said chain weapons, for some reason my immediate thought was just like a long chain, like Ghost Rider. You know? And I'm like, is that a thing? I wasn't even thinking of like the chainsaw, sword, and axe.
My nerves are frayed.
Welcome to the Rykad Minoris Command Center.
Now that the heresy of rebellion has engulfed this entire world, no walls will offer shelter from his furious judgment.
Indeed. Our only option is to fight to the last drop of blood and secure victory for the glory of the Emperor, or to die in the attempt.
Alright, Commander Medineh. The tall, dark-skinned man turns toward you and greets you in a curt military manner. Faisal Raikadi Ab Medineh of Koronus. What the heck? Governor of this star system. Oh my god, that's his name? Welcome to my temporary headquarters. The governor expression changes drastically when he sees Cassia. Lady Navigator, what an honor. I never thought that House Orselio would grace our world with a visit. I only wish I could have received you under different circumstances. Cassia purses her lips, and an echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present. House Orselio is grateful for the support you've provided to Uruk V these many years. Then the governor notices Kibble is closed and his eyes go wide. He adds softly and cautiously, "This woman? She is your bodyguard, I presume? Or is she here to..." Oh, he recognizes that she's an assassin. He stops, choosing not to finish the sentence. Governor, I'm not seeing the convoy I'd sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise you their punishment will be swift and severe. The convoy was ambushed and massacred. The only surviving soldier turned out to be a traitor and was personally executed by me. That is an outrage! I will have the personnel vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Lordship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there is a question I feel compelled to ask. It was only recently that Lady Theodora was the head of the House von Valancius. I've received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue traitor? My esteemed predecessor died at the hands of cultists. May the Emperor incinerate their souls. The governor frowns and a deep shadow falls over his face. Rogue traitor von Valancius, slain, unthinkable. Please accept my deepest and most sincerest condolences, your lordship. Do not hesitate to let me know how I might be of help. Commerce 100%. I need fresh crew to replace those killed in the attack on the ship, and I need material compensation. The governor bows his head in acceptance. Of course, your lord. You will be compensated for any losses. Why is this guy responsible for that? I mean, I'll take it. And I'll see to it that personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods from my personal reserves. Profit factor gained and XP gained. I can offer you several thousand fine obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform you I won't be able to until we've dealt with the insurgency on the planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming. I wish to commend the courage of one of your officers, Sergeant Malgar. He and his soldiers valiantly defend the starport. The sergeant who managed to impress a person of such noble standing will be recommended for decoration. Heinrichs von Kalox, an interrogator of the Most Holy Inquisition, is operating at your system. Do you know where he is? The governor lowers his voice. I do. Master von Kalox has left for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium. It is an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what his objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity, but I suppose that's too petty of a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I've already sent a small detachment of reinforcements there. Unfortunately, right now you won't be able to leave the capital and set out to look for him. The rebels have got hold of some ancient weapon and made flying over the city impossible. Are you so confident they will crush the insurrection soon? My own impression has been the exact opposite. Is that so? The governor maintains his composure. I'd like to hear your reasoning. The insurgents managed to steal a voxcaster. They have been listening to your people's communications. It's not much, but it's something. I will order an audit of our equipment to see if that see to it that our communication channels are more closely monitored going forward. However, it was only the accidental success of an otherwise disorganized mob of heretics who have no understanding of the art of war. The insurgents are using the archenemy's artifacts, enchanted lenses, to perform unholy sorcery. I've heard about these lenses. What makes you think they're enchanted? Any fool can light a fire with a magnifying glass. That's no sorcery. The insurgents talk of a final dawn, the impending demise of the world. Yet another superstition. Surely you don't expect me to believe in it. The insurgency is headed by a certain Aurora, a prophet who, according to their followers, possesses mystical powers. The rabble's usual superstitions. I'm sure this Aurora is a charlatan muttering some doggerel with their dim followers think to be magic spells. This does, of course, warrant their eventual burning in the furnace of penance, but does not point to there being anything special about this insurgency. You ought to leave your bunker more often, Governor Medineh. I have only recently arrived in this system, and I already know much more about the uprising than you do. The governor's eyes darken, but your unwavering gaze makes him give in. All right. Perhaps I've underestimated the mutiny, writing it off as the rabble's usual nonsense. However, it does involve corruption and an underground cult. This needs to be investigated. I'll assign additional resources to it and take the issue seriously. You have my word, your lordship. Is there anything else I could do on this planet or in this system while I wait for the end of the revolt? If you'd like a distraction, a smaller and safer uprising to suppress at your leisure. A smaller, safer uprising. There is a planetoid in my system called Rykati Philia. It hosts a prison colony whose inmates rebelled at the same time as the heretics on the planet. It's an all-around preposterous situation. It should have only taken us a couple of orbital shots to take care of them. But the governor slightly purses his lips. Yvain Winterscale went there. He is a relative of my suzerain, the great rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, the master of this system and a dozen others. I imagine the young Lord Winterscale is very eager to prove himself to a distinguished kinsman. I see no reason for you not to join him. It's a small planetoid, the prisoners' numbers are few, and they have little in the way of weapons. It's more of a sport for noble lords than a real rebellion. Yvain Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urak 5 on behalf of his father. The Great Regent would never have gained entry to someone dishonorable, which means no matter what happened on the planetoid, we must aid the Highborn. That's all I wanted to discuss. Wait, destroy the ancient aircraft battery. Did I not do that yet?
What lies beyond?
I thought I did that already. Okay, I must have missed something. Let's see. This cogitator looks a lot older and more worn than the ones next to it. However, it has evidently been well cared for. Numerous parts have been replaced, not a single key is jammed, and fresh seals with prayers to the Omnissiah adorn its surface. One of the side panels has been removed. Bundles of gold-notched cables run from inside to a small data crypt that was connected only a short while ago. Awaiting access code. Tech use 100. Force access to the cogitator. You've bypassed the security layers. The cogitator is ready to reveal its secrets. Sacred Computation 7825M. Upon Logis Abel's orders, the archives of every augur station on Rykad Minoris and the 2 primary satellites of Rykad Star have been queried. Said satellites are named Magos Maruf and Zephyra the Keen after 2 great champions of faith whose external cogitators were placed inside the satellite's cores after their shells perished. The purpose of the sacred computation request by the Logis is to uncover the external influence behind the ongoing insurgency. Computation result positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the Sacred Augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Rykad Minoris cycles ago, early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logis Abel's conclusion: the insurrection on the planet has been long in the making, with the participation of external actors. It is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Rykad system, the rumored unholy prophet of the insurgents. The subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries, but what is the nature of their activity near Rykad Philia? Governor Medineh's attention must be drawn to... The final entry cuts off abruptly. Let's see. Assuming that because Tuesdays typically patch days are when they release new content, I expect there will be another specialization tease today. Possibly. Hey, Kid Matt, thank you. Appreciate that. Recent observations. The satellite Magos Maruf reports that a ship translated into the system. Its signature consistent with the records of the flagship of a rogue trader dynasty, House von Valancius. That's me. The satellite Zephyr the Keen reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship has sent an encrypted Vox transmission to the insurgent-controlled areas of the surface of Rykad Minoris. Another transmission was directed to planetoid Rykadi Philia. Both transmissions signed Brother Twilight. Contents could not be decrypted. Go to investigated. The entry contains planet-side coordinates marked as heavy augur station jamming, possibly a hidden insurgent base. The heavy hum of this massive cogitator runs down the metal walls of the bunker, filling the entire command structure.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Okay, so the giant anti-aircraft gun is still online out here somewhere. I probably killed the stuff that was defending it and didn't notice it to interact with it, so I gotta find that.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
You found one of the decrypted messages from Brother Twilight last stream. It was basically, this dude's coming here, Aurora once I'm gone. Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing Brother Twilight is Conrad Voigtveer or someone that's with him.
I bought Total Warhammer on sale and have been watching Mukluk plays at the same time.
Oh,
Really
jeez.
fun and glad I'm not the only one who was confused with all the missing info in the tutorials. Mukluk what?
I think I found the gun. Also, Diamond Heal, that's fantastic. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah. The tutorial was great for like 2 hours, and then it was like the string of information I needed just suddenly ended. I was like, wait, no, I need more. Oh gosh, there's a guy way up here.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. On it. Anything else? Be gone.
Let's make it.
Schemes within schemes. Fate claims another one.
Fate claims another one.
A genius at work.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If I may, I'm a foe painted black.
Time to slaughter someone.
Out of my way.
Scared yet?
They missed all those shots, which I am not going to complain about. Can we hit that cover?
Request approved.
Dang. That did not work out.
I am your blade and shield. Let your soul be purged. Trust me, killing brings me no pleasure. My blade whispers your name. Death is a blessing.
Blade Dancer OP.
A dance of blades
Here
and
we go.
shadows.
Hold on.
Show me what you got.
Who does she have line of sight of right now, if anyone? Ah.
Anything is? Farewell.
Momentum.
What a predictable
Punk.
downfall. Let's see.
Let's see.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Be
Be careful not
move
to
her over
cross
here.
my gaze.
Let's get to it.
The tutorial guide didn't have the tutorial for tutorial making. Yeah, it's like there is a massive amount of information in Total War Warhammer, and the tutorial does a decent job at teaching you a lot of that information at the beginning. But then it just kind of like stops. Like it feels like the tutorial was really well made, but it ended when you had received like 60% of the info you needed. And it's like, wait, no, where's the rest?
I bring mercy and retribution. Watch out.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Faith, none can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act. Strike is a prayer.
Will do.
Let's see, does she have line of sight of any foes right now? Don't think so.
What be gone?
Dude, I love that. That thing where spillover damage hits another target. So she killed that guy, and then this one over here took 15 from the leftover.
Let's make it quick.
Oh! Argento just got shot.
War is my muse. Even I won't do that.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I I am a navigator.
Let's give her an extra
not a
shot.
servitor.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Doubt eradicated.
There we go.
Time to slaughter someone.
Close.
Death comes in silence.
Alright, the guy on the roof is taken care of.
I'll do it. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
Does Argenta already have those buffs? Yeah, she does.
On it. They who discern the future on the battlefield.
A wicked thought.
I'm afraid not. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I will not die in dishonor.
Parry. Ah, dang.
Killing
Let's do that.
brings me no pleasure. I am your blade and shield. As honor ordains.
See, she has got a little bit more. Okay, if she moves
Rejoice in
there,
battle.
she can hit him.
Each strike is a prayer.
Okay. Who's left? This guy up the ladder here. No line of sight.
I'm powerless to act.
Can he? Nope, not yet.
I will leave footprints of scarlet.
That it? That's it. Okay, wonderful. Alright. Need Argenta to disarm this.
Duty prevails.
Okay. Big gun. The anti-aircraft's battery control has a panoply of mysterious levers and buttons. Deactivating it quickly is not an option. All you could do is blow it up, destroying it completely. Tech use, examine it. The anti-aircraft battery certainly was constructed a long time ago, long before the colonization of this world began. It comes as no surprise that the insurgents were barely able to operate it. Modern arms protocols are incomprehensible to the machine spirits of such an ancient construction. Alright, demolition. Well, he's sure taking his sweet time. And someone just ran through a flamethrower. The blast consumes the ancient weapon. The sky above the city is safe for flying again. Okay. Alright, grabbing the loot.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Yoink. Locked box. Pascal, can you open it? Yoink. Awareness 100.
I've read about
The shuttle
this.
must have been shot out of the sky by a powerful weapon before it crashed into the building and fell into the once crowded street.
Patience? My nerves are frayed.
Alright, looks like we missed some loot down here. I got a few things. Okay. Can send a ship the size of a planet long distances, doesn't know what a flat cannon is. Warhammer. Oh, come on. I can't click on the dead guy. There we go. Yeah, I'm reminded of a fan comic I saw once. Hang on. Where okay. So the whole could talk to the machine spirits thing. Hold on, open this image in a new tab. This is a comic some Warhammer 40k fan made. So it starts off, and there's a tech priest, and she's like, so many millennia have already passed, and yet its machine spirit still screams. And the Astartes goes, what does it sound like? And she says, rage. If you know, you know.
What lies beyond?
Oh, hang on. Trying to click on that box of goods there. There we go. Blinding grenade. Bolter, sturdy shotgun. Okay, I think I got all the loot. Oh, wait. What was that? Shut off the steam, pick the log. That's okay. Got it.
Oh, glorious spectacle of your demise.
Alright, you get behind cover.
Won't save you.
You get in their face. Cover.
Chaos guides me.
Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Ow. Let's see. Where's Pascal? It's back there. Really? He doesn't have line of sight of any of this?
My competencies are not that universal. Activate calculate fury algorithm. Running binaric override.
Alright. Boss man's turn. Let's do this. And don't want to charge here. Taunt those 4. And then put up parry.
At work.
Will do.
Alright, put buffs on him.
Very well.
Alright, she kills 1. And
Trust me. Come. The other side awaits. The shadows will see it done. As the tenets demand, death is a blessing. A dance of blades and
Alright, end her turn there.
Emperor, give me strength. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
What? No. Ah, another one is shattered.
Step aside.
And then she can go back behind cover after doing that.
Only death, yours or mine.
Faith without deeds is
That was a
worthless.
95% chance. You serious?
Chaos guides me.
Request approved. Running.
I should have entrenched him at the end of his turn, I forgot.
Shattered foes in my wake. What if? Even I won't do that.
I know what is to come. Anything else? Was it you? Or
The shadows reveal their secret.
Oh my god, what? Okay, somehow in her blade dance she hit that barrel. Not intentional.
As honor ordains, death comes in silence.
That is foolishness.
anything else?
If I may,
Chaos guides me.
Alright, finish him off. Revel and Slaughter. Just end your turn. You just end your turn. You hunt down the last guy.
Let's see.
I bring mercy and retribution.
Death to non-believers.
Schemes within schemes.
I serve the ruinous.
Unpredictable.
The last one? That's the last one. Okay. Alright. I think we're almost back to the ship, so I don't think I need to use another med kit at the moment for that one injury we got.
One step at a time amidst the madness.
Alright, let's see. Box of goods. Grab that. Grab all of that. This fountain's merry murmur seems to mock the surrounding chaos and destruction.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Never doubt me.
Okay.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Shut off the steam. Okay, so now we can go past that without getting hurt. Pick the lock. This mechanical door leads to the lower levels under the upper way. Have I been in there? Let's check. Yes, this is yet another entrance to an area we've already been. Okay. You have, but there's stuff down there you haven't looted. Wait, what? Hang on. There's no loot icons on the map. We've gotten every container in here. Unless there's something...
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Maybe you didn't do the puzzle? No, I did do the puzzle. Like, the power button right there was the start of the puzzle, and it's already used. We did do it. Hang on.
Patience.
Didn't I? I thought I did. Well, I was doing the puzzle last time, and I got a bunch of XP and leveled up, so I thought I'd finished it. So there's the power. Hang on, where's the... Enter the code from the found note. A message archive loads up. Judging by the accompanying notes, the messages were meticulously transferred from paper to the sacred machine's storage. We've already read that. We've already read that. Okay, so this was the thing that I tried to do. In order to perform the ritual of motive force, you must supply power. Make sure the relay is closed. Okay, we just supplied power by clicking on that power thing.
They will see.
Make sure the damper is
yes,
latched.
Indeed, they all will.
Okay, so
see.
power going there. Unlatch the damper. No, leave it latched. Red cord comes over this way. Close the relay.
Operation successful.
Okay. And then another cord comes out of there. Nope, that's the same one. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, so then this red cable comes out and goes under that thing. And comes out over here. Leave that latched. Follow it this way. Supply must be distributed.
This explorator is blessed.
Nothing
with
happens.
multifunctionality.
Close the relay.
My success is
Nothing happens.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
The machine god grants me insight. This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Alright, hold on. Reset.
Operation.
Alright, we know it's that. Skip the damper.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Close that relay.
The machine god grants me insight.
Everything appears to be correct. Okay. Yep, and then that button disappears. And then, to me, it looks like this red cable then goes underground, and then comes back up here. Which then goes over to this thing. And then comes through over to here. And last time, I tried clicking on that earlier, and that was not good.
What lies?
So let's skip that and come over to this one.
My success is an
Nothing
irrefutable
happens.
certainty.
So that's not it. Let me read this again. Relay is closed. The damper is latched. And supplementary external relay is shut. The supplementary external relay.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. The machine gun grants me insight.
I'm just gonna try a bunch of buttons at this point. Okay, this is wait, okay, what? That one says everything appears to be correct. Okay, let's follow the cable again then.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Operation successful.
Okay, it likes that. Do I just hit every button along the path of the red wire?
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Unlock the safe.
The machine god grants me
The safe unlocks with a grumbling rattle. Huh. Last time I thought I had finished this because I was messing with this puzzle and I got a whole bunch of XP. So I thought I finished it. So now I don't know why I got that XP. Demon Tool. Whenever the wearer deals warp damage, the damaged character also suffers burning. Burning effects inflicted by the wearer have their level increased by 0. Stub Carbine and a Hand Flamer. Okay.
You are in the
Does this do warp damage?
House or Celio.
It doesn't say what type of damage it is.
Did you want something?
Navigator's warp damage? What about her? Does she do warp
Does something
damage?
trouble you, Lord Captain?
This doesn't say warp anywhere on it. Where does plus 5% damage? Where gains 5% critical hit chance to single shots and dead eye shots. Okay, and we leveled up from that. Let's see. Choose an ability. Let's see. Sworn enemy. Break through. Forceful strike. I think sworn enemy for a tank. Choose a talent. Swift movements. Let's see, anything? Yeah, down here. Let's see, each level of psi rating provides the psyker access to new psychic powers. It also strengthens damaging psychic powers. This doesn't actually say anywhere on it that it adds a level of psi rating. Kind of messed up there. But yeah, we'll take that, I guess. Are all these int? I think so. Alright, she is gonna have high Medicaid, I guess. Tech use and logic is Pascal. Awareness is going to be her. Imperium, Xenos. I guess Xenos? Alright, let's see. Controlled shot. Dash. Let's get dash. Let's see. Awareness 40, athletics 30, Medicaid 35, Lore Imperium 35. This is Lore Imperium. If you get the opportunity to level up Psych or Minora's associated traits, you should always do that since they're necessary to unlock higher level Psych. I know. My previous playthrough, I was a Psycher. But they just changed the name of some of the skills, and I was pointing out that they failed to add some stuff to the tooltip, and they should. Against one's perception. Lost at the end of the target's turn. I'll use a heroic act against temporary wounds. Morning Mug Chat. Hey, Blue Belt. Be vigilant. Allies under the effect of officer abilities gain bonus to weapon skill until the next turn. Whenever heroic act is used in combat by any officer, no. Allies affected by officer abilities gain a bonus to all resistance tests equal to 12. Half of the bonus granted by voice of command remains till the end of combat. This bonus does not stack with itself or with bonuses granted by voice of command, but does count as an officer ability for purposes of other talents. Navigator gains 5 fellowship and an additional fellowship for every navigator talent or power taken. If your perception's higher than agility, your dodge is calculated with perception. Sure. Fellowship. Alright, Pascal. What do you got, Pascal? Let's see. At least they did not make it as bad as the old System Shock 2 devs. The Sonic Power deals damage to everything, even you in the area, when in fact the Sonic Power makes you completely immune to the type of damage it deals at the same time. What? For game with so many options while leveling their mystics with tooltips. Yeah, there's a couple. The thing was, is in the past, that thing that Psi Minoris or whatever, when I played the game at launch, it just said increase your Psi rating. Which was more clear than what it is now. But I haven't seen a lot of that, but that is a thing. If the operative has not moved this turn, they do +2 damage with single-shot attacks for every 5 cells between them and the target, and gain +3 ballistic skill. These bonuses do not stack and last until you move. Whenever the operative triggers an exploit on an enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% armor pin until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike or projectile in a burst of stacks. Okay, I like that because it could stack really high in long fights. 40, 35, 65, 65. So wait, does he have higher Medicaid than she does? Hang on. What's her Medicaid? 60? And what's his? 55. No, it's just up there. guess Lorzinos. And then her. Okay, this stuff. Available planes. Captive audience. Next attack inflicts bleeding on all targets hit. These targets must pass a toughness resistance test with a -22 penalty or become immobilized. Let's do captive audience. Okay, choose talent. Blade Dancer. Enemies attacked have reduced stats for 1 turn. Medicaid is now determined by weapon skill instead of intelligence. Race against death. Weapon skill instead of intelligence. Weapon skill is 45. Int is 35. Her weapon skill is higher. Steady hand. Rising tempo. Each attack made by the Blade Dancer increases the damage of all subsequent attacks they make this turn by 5%. That could be good. Oh, did I ever get additional movement on her? I had wanted that. No, I did not. Let's get that now. Okay. Alright.
They will see. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
All
Alright, finally
will
done with that.
see.
For real this time. Gonna have to figure out someone else to leave the party once we get the Arbites guy. Because, want to see the new story stuff for him. Like, Pascal is so good at opening, like, you know, it's skills checks, basically. And I haven't seen her story, so I want to keep her if I can. Navigator is just so stupidly strong. There's really no one else like her. Blood Dancer's new. So, I mean, Argenta's really good, but I guess get rid of her for somebody else to try out more new stuff. Okay, back to the starport. I think if we had taken out the gun before we got to the governor's office, there would have been a button at the governor's office to just go straight back to the ship, but I missed the gun, so I didn't have that button.
What lies beyond?
Let's see. An entire procession of cargo servitors was destroyed by gunfire. Not a single one of them attempted to flee. Yep, I remember that. I don't know why this isn't mapped out. This is where we met Pascal. Didn't I already go through? Hang on. Let's see what this is. Oh no, this is new.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Portal is blessed with multifunctionality.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. We got some different armors here. 20% is 35, 20. 5% less armor, but 10% more parry against melee. Is she heretical? Yeah, she is. Dodge, 22. Do that. Okay. I dropped Argenta because I'm doing a shotgun. Arvidy's playthrough wanted the Xenos for long range.
Patience?
Yeah, I haven't done much with her either. Yeah, Argento was kind of my carry through my, my first playthrough. Just kept using officer abilities on her and she just killed everything. Ridge Technomat. Wait. Is there not a button to go back to my ship from here?
In this tapestry of a world,
Do I need to go all the way back to the mayor's office?
I am the rogue thread.
Hmm. Okay. Well, the only other way I know to get to the ship is to go back to the governor's office, and then I think there's a button there. Unfortunately, that means a couple more loading screens. Did you do the parade thing? No, we're not there yet. Let's see. Even with Eldar Tech, Argenta has a better build. There's even mods to fix the earliest build. It's that bad. I will say, from what I've seen, Argenta, I don't know if she still has it. The issue with her when I played the game at launch on hard mode was that she had a lot of talents that would just be like, oh, every time you do this, you gain +1 damage till the end of combat. Like, it was like infinitely stacking stuff. So it's like at the beginning of the combat, she could be hitting for 10 damage, but at the end of the combat, she might be like, you know, hitting for 10,000. And, you know, the final fight of the game, you're basically fighting a demigod. And, like, as she kept going, like, tap, 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 dead. And it was pretty silly. But yeah, it was just Operation Stay Alive till Argenta can one-shot the thing.
There will be no peace in my wake.
I had Argenta one-shot the final boss in hard mode. Yeah, I believe it. That's kind of what I just described. Okay, now can I go back to the ship? The upper way, no. What do I do? Inform the governor, okay. The anti-aircraft battery that was giving you so much trouble has been destroyed. That's excellent news, thank you for the assistance. The weapons the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Von Kalox, you should go to the Cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pascal's Vox. On behalf of the Priesthood of Mars, I, Magos Hanuman, am officially initiating my participation in this operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against laypeople and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Magos could provide his assistance. I categorically object, the governor clenches his fist. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah's servants. We've lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medineh and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. This Magos is part of my retinue. You have no right to give him orders. You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no... The governor's voice dies down in a low growl of a drilling mechadendrite. Its tip is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. Medineh clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly. So this is the negotiation technique you've resorted to. Do you think this is the first time I've been threatened with a weapon? No, but this could be your last. Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement. Steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and squelching of tearing flesh. I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear? The governor mutters through gritted teeth. Abundantly so, Magos. Why are you so determined to get to the monastery? Is it just because of this relic? It is why I came to this world. I am expected there. It would be a pleasure to assist the Omnissiah's servant in reaching the sanctum. Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship. The drill stops. Dukem, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magos Hanuman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rykad system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs from your life until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Rykad system. You're Hanuman. Glad you're alive. The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary. What has perplexed you about my companion's name? The governor looks at Pascal with curiosity. According to the reports we've received, Logis Abel Hanuman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master von Kalox. Pascal's vox rasps in confusion. My name is Pascal Hanuman, not Abel. I know nothing about such a person. Where can I get more information on this individual? I would have suggested you inspect the esteemed Logis' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some information. It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a Vox can sound so confused. That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagos Amarnat, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. Adira tenses up and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pascal. I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror for too long, you might see yourself in it, and in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair than the new reflection is deathlike. The shattered mirror comment actually makes a little bit of sense now that I know Pascal's, like, ending. What do you know about this Abel, Governor? I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logis supervised the work of Rykad Minoris' Lex Mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I've never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchorite. I see. Okay. The Arbites? Why are they here? Oh boy! What's up, fellas? This place is passing under the command of the Adeptus Arbites. The arbitrator marches forward relentlessly and halts one step away from the governor, looking down at him. Governor Medineh, in the name of the Lex Imperialis, I, Proctor Solomorn Anthar, arrest you on suspicion of involvement in the theft of the shipment of the Imperial Tithe. Taking into account the state of emergency on this planet, I will permit you to retain your authority under my direct supervision. From this time forth, you will be given the Adeptus Arbites your full cooperation, in particular by transferring command of the strike groups and other resources to me. Medineh, though deathly pale, proudly raises his chin. Arrest me? Transfer my resources? Your demands undermine my efforts to suppress the rebellion. Excuse me, Proctor, but this accusation of stealing the sacred tithe is simply... He stops talking under the arbitrator's oppressive, merciless gaze. Denying guilt only adds to the suspicions against you, Governor. Oh my god. Chat, did you know when you deny guilt, it just makes you more suspicious? Now let us go over everything one more time. The tithe was stolen from your world. You are culpable for this incident, whether you were personally involved or not. You will provide the resources I have requested without objection, as this measure serves to re-establish control over the planet. Comply or I will consider your refusal an obstruction of the investigation and take steps accordingly. It seems I am left with no other option than to obey your will. As his law-abiding servant, I honor the word of the Lex Imperialis. Medineh shoots you a quick glance, unless his lordship has anything to say on the matter, that is. I would never think to oppose a servant of the law. The governor puts his hands behind his back, either to appear more confident or hide the tremor in his fingers. In that case, please accommodate yourself, Proctor. But before I give you the access codes, I must give a self-protracted, self-exonerating statement. There's no need. All information required of you will be obtained during questioning, without witnesses, be it your personal guard or the rogue trader. Just you, me, and Glato. The Cyber Mastiff lets out a heavy growl that sends a shiver down your spine. What is your plan, Proctor? Stop the heretics from taking over the starport and other locations critical to the investigation. At the same time, we will crush the heretics' resistance. Most of them are hiding among the commoners, and a series of concentrated strikes against the residential districts and infirmaries will send them running. That is when we'll finish off the rebel carrion. Blood of the throne! I will be governing over nothing but ruins and corpses by the time you're done. Have faith in my methods, Governor. I'm not going to depopulate your world. After all, it needs to be able to continue paying the tithe. Dogmatic. A sound plan, Proctor. Only harsh measures can restore order. Solomon gives a slight nod. Better to cut off the hand than to let the infection overtake the whole body. Why do you think the rebels are hiding among the civilians? They could have shelters elsewhere. I know this from a few intercepted Vox exchanges and a couple of scumbags we've interrogated. But first and foremost, I know from experience, such mutinous rabble always feed off its families and associates, who also provide a source of recruits to support its ranks. And of course, there is the heretics' contemptible habit of using the local population as a shield. We need to flush them out of their nests and starve them of resources. I wish you luck in your investigation, Proctor. Is that it? Okay.
Curiosity
Sings in my veins. There it is. Return to void ship. Alright, we got the button now. Voxmaster Vigdis. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I've received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behaviors in the ship's cogitators and servitors. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech litany or ritual of pacification can rid them of this obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the vessel's systems, but the servitors, they make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. A click comes through the Vox channel, followed by a weary sigh. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations, or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Adira joins the channel and chimes in playfully. Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folks have grown used to all that, so our resident ghost has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. Vigdis. The Technomats inspected the servitors and concluded they posed no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated, or by manifestations of the machine spirit's will. Okay, let's pause here for a second. For any Warhammer New Bloods in the chat, a servitor is kind of like if you take a person and then you lobotomize them. So they're basically just like a mindless drone. They'll do what you ask. They're intelligent enough that you could say, hey, you know, go fix that pipe. And they'll go fix that pipe. And then they're usually given, like, mechanical arms and legs, so they're really strong, they can lift heavy boxes, and they become servants. So when she says echoes of the minds not completely eliminated, that would imply that they might remember who they were before they were turned into a Roomba, essentially. Which would be awful. That would be incredibly awful. There was apparently a thing in Warhammer 40k at some point in the past, I don't know a lot about, where there was an AI uprising, and humanity barely put it down. And so they do not trust AI. So anything that you think is a computer, there's a brain in there somewhere. Because, yeah, and there's no, like, internet now. It's not all connected. It's brains. Nevertheless, the faulty servitor makes the crew's task considerably more difficult. In High Factotum Janus, Danrock would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge. I remember this. This one was kind of weird. Let's see. How do I get to the bridge? Back to bridge. That's it. Except sometimes the tech priests forget to lobotomize them or screw up. I mean, I suppose. Okay. Let's run over here. What's up, Pascal?
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
The mecha dendrites growing out of the tech priest's back swivel in your direction as if examining you with curiosity. Do you know anything about the malfunctioning servitors on this ship?
Information about the incidents has been detected in the catalog. The incidents have been acknowledged as insignificant. A technical inquiry has established that the most statistically likely cause of the errors was a transgression of sacrilegious negligence during the lobotomizing rite. This disgraceful act of malfeasance has allowed shadows of the servitor's thoughts and recollections to survive in the depths of his mind, which ought to be dedicated to service alone. As a ship's engine seer, I accept the results of the technical inquiry. As a learned
This guy's spreading incense.
I question its findings. The patterns of the malfunctions form a more complex picture than can be discerned by those of lower ranks. For this reason, instructions have been issued across the ship to report any new incidents to me personally. May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Okay. Factotum. The corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you, not without difficulty. A servo skull whirs over his shoulder while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he's holding. He regards you with attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your lordship. Generous Danrock, at your service. Vigdis informed me about a problem with the servitors. What happened? You see, your lordship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose. Generous Danrock nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have dedicated the fate of these servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I do not wish to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one of the storage compartments pending your decision. Pascal Hanuman expressed the desire to be present during the inspection should it be carried out. I suppose the expertise of the esteemed Magos may come in handy. I wish to look at these servitors before deciding their fate. As you wish, your lordship. Would you like the Engineer Prime to accompany you? Yes, Pascal shall accompany me. As your lordship commands. Story time. Sector, data unavailable. Region, data unavailable. Location, Von Valancius flagship, lower decks. Material, report of a tech phenomenon that was observed during the Lord Captain's visit to Bay AKN 108 from the words of High Factotum Janus Danrock. When his lordship arrived at the scene, he found the servitors in the same position that they all assumed after they had been corralled into the bay, all standing in a long spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. The moment his lordship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion. All as one, as if obeying a command, the servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. The technomats tasked with overseeing the defective units even reached for their weapons, but then the servitors just went still abruptly, staring at his lordship with vacant eyes. All present held their breath, disturbed by this sight. We waited for the Lord Captain to speak. His lordship, Mukluk von Valancius, gestured for his Engine Seer Prime to study the servitors. The Engine Seer Prime slowly waded into the motionless ranks of servitors, peering into their faces and checking the readings. There was no haste in Pascal's actions. With mesmerizing diligence, he inspected every single unit in his path, and binaric prayers were his companions in this investigation. The examination confirmed the Technomat's initial hypothesis. The servitors' souls, or rather, the souls of the people they once were, had awakened. Not yet fully conscious of their past and present, these half-machines could nonetheless feel primitive emotions and sensations such as fear and pain. This undesirable consequence of shoddily performed lobotomy is mostly rarely observed, and yet for some unknown reason it has occurred in every single one of the servitors gathered in this bay. Demanded a report on the defective unit's status from the Technomats. The Technomat's long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point. Despite the servitors' abnormal behavior, they were still quite capable of carrying out tasks, and therefore the circumstances did not call for their termination. Mukluk von Valancius took several steps toward the servitors. Immediately, the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped toward the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked his movements with frightening precision. The rogue trader halted in place and after a moment's thought waved his hand, and the servitors, just as synchronously, repeated that gesture as well. When the Lord Captain turned quizzically to the Technomats, so did the servitors, as if mocking him. Whatever the Lord Captain did, be it an incline of the head, wave of the hand, or a step to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute, until the servitors finally came to a stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rogue trader approached with confidence. The Lord Captain examined the servitors. As High Factotum, it was I who had prompted that entire inspection, and thus it was my duty to follow the Lord Captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally still, were shaking wildly. Their bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collars, inscribed with their past offenses. It was as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaken Technomat behind us proposed that the human souls had awakened within the servitors' bodies after long slumber deep within their lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the Technomat added that the servitors used to function properly, and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. His gaze still trained on the motionless but animated half-machines, half-people, the Lord Captain stepped away. The Lordship ordered that one of the servitors be disassembled and its components investigated. A group of Technomats hurried to act upon the Lord Captain's command. The servitor's mechanical parts separated with clicks, snaps, and hisses. The sutures between its wrinkled pale flesh and its augments were laid disgustingly bare. We watched the Technomats do their work and could see every centimeter of the servitor's stiff muscles abounding with valves and cavities pierced by countless cords and tubes. The disassembly and analysis complete, the Technomats concurred. The unit was in working order. Nothing in the dissected body that lay before us could provide any insight into the reason behind the defects. I should make note of one more thing. At that moment, all of us present discovered that not just the eyes, but the hands and heads of some of the servitors were now shaking too. It was as if the mechanized servants were overcome with some primordial terror. The Lord Captain turned to me to announce his decision. His lordship looked at me with unwavering resolve, and it was that confidence that wrenched me out of the nightmarish stupor that had me tensely observing the scene unfolding around me. The Lord Captain gave the order. Okay, so last time I played, I'm pretty sure I disposed of them. I'm not positive, though. It's been a year, but we are doing dogmatic stuff, and so we're gonna do this time. Dogmatic. Send the servitors back to toil as they had toiled before, for they had not yet paid their dues for the crimes of their past lives, and thus did not deserve clemency. On the Lord Captain's orders, the servitors were returned to the same decks where they had worked before. The crew was initially unnerved by their presence, but adapted to their quirks soon enough, especially since, following the incident in question, there was a noticeable reduction in the servitors' strange behavior. With the fate of the defective servitors decided, nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from his mission. Okay. Let's see. Alright. Let's go here. Lord Captain's quarters, freight line, void ship shrine, astropathic chapel. Freight line. So I'm trying to do her quest now. We're gonna see if we can. So Kibula. This was from one of the DLCs that I have not seen yet. Edok Frenso. A sturdily built man with an augmented jaw stands at attention. The dark circles under his eyes speak to many sleepless nights, but his voice is loud and spirited. Welcome to Freight Hub LD-987A14, Lord Captain. I'm Edok Frenso, Captain of the Enforcers and Lower Deck Bay LD-A14. The Master at Arms has assigned me to be your liaison for the duration of your stay here. Lord Captain, what would you like to inspect? The control room or to begin your search for the Temple of the Bloodspun Web? He says the last part with obvious concern. It seems you are prepared for my visit. How did you and Sireback know I was coming now? The Master at Arms ordered us to be on standby after the Bloodspun Web openly invited you to visit their temple. We've been awaiting your arrival every day since then, Lord Captain. Dang. Do you know how to reach the Temple of the Bloodspun Web? I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I do not. No one knows. The cultists are too adept at hiding and keeping their secrets, and it worries me that you might have to walk around the entire compartment looking for the temple. Why are you worried? Is there a problem with this compartment? The lower decks are not suitable for someone of your status, and it's not just the grime or the crowds or brutish laborers. I suspect that the entrance to the Temple of Death is hidden in some dark corner where you might encounter criminals or contagious outcasts. With the kind of riffraff that dwells there, you might even be attacked. Cassius shivers. Such ghastly places you describe. We are not headed there, are we, Lord Captain? He frowns. To put it bluntly, although the Bay performs its functions well, even its more civilized sections are sorely lacking in discipline. I was only assigned recently, so I haven't had time to straighten everything up. Since doing so will require making some serious changes, I'm not inventing excuses, Lord Captain. As the officer in charge, I accept full responsibility for what takes place in this compartment. I hereby offer you my assistance, Captain. I shall conduct an inspection and then share my thoughts on how to change this place for the better. But Frenso stops himself mid-protest and assumes a more compliant tone. In that case, I urge you to remain vigilant. The freight trains move at great speeds, and the inhabitants of the residential units are despicable rabble. One must never drop one's guard around them, and Emperor preserve you from stumbling into the pestilence pit. That's where the madmen and the lepers live. The cult of the Bloodspun Web has a presence in this compartment, does it not? That is correct. The enforcers do not bar them from carrying out their sacred duties, he scowls. As irregular as it is to have armed crew members set up a secret hideout forbidden to the enforcers that they can go around dispensing bloody justice. What do you know about the death cultists? Not much, but I'm always trying to learn more, given that they like to pay visits to my compartment. Frenso scratches his head thinking. The Spinners honor the Emperor through death. They kill notorious reprobates and heretics. Sometimes they kill righteous folks, and other times even seemingly at random. Their rituals are morbid, and their prayers are strange. Anyone not initiated in their rites would struggle to make sense of them. Do you not take issue with death cultists killing people on your territory? Frenso avoids looking at Kibula. I do, Lord Captain, but the cult is authorized to exist on the ship, which means their activities down here are not to be interfered with. I see. The captain grumbles sullenly under his breath. Tell me about this station. Hub LD-987A14 connects the lower deck's freight, residential, and artillery bays. Our task is to monitor the flow of the labor force and prevent supply disruptions between bays. Who maintains this hub? Traffic controllers. They're technomats trained by priests of the machine cult to keep the sacred cogitators in working order and prevent train collisions. The consequences of an accident like that would be easy to imagine, especially if one of the trains were carrying macro cannon ordnance. Also employed here are an enforcer squad, a team of inferni. Those are like firefighters. The clerks who keep cargo records, and a Medicae officer. A fine chap whose medicine of choice is a bullet. May the God Emperor forgive him. A Medicae officer. Yo. You're like, yo, I broke my leg. And he's like, have you tried death about it? Okay. Not every void ship can boast of its own railway. That is true. Usually higher class ships are the ones that can get trains. Oh, hello. Hi, buddy. I have a visitor chat. Just a moment. He has been lugged here against his will, but he is obliging it.
He was the one who attacked me.
What's up, dude?
I attacked him and said this is his punishment.
We're getting carried around?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Alright. He's being very patient. Set him down while he's still patient. Alright, fist bump. There you go. Okay. He'll probably stay here for a whopping 2 seconds, knowing him. Let's see. That is true. Usually higher class ships are the ones that get trains, but it's far from the greatest thing a rogue trader's warrant can see done. The credit here goes to Lady Theodora's predecessor, on whose orders the Adeptus Mechanicus assisted in birthing this miracle of sacred engineering from the womb of the dynasty's flagship. Remember I told you that the ships in Warhammer were like so huge they were like cities? Yeah. So I just found out that my ship has trains inside it. Cool. What is the situation on the lower decks? Most of the locals unload trains and sort provisions. We give maintenance jobs to the more capable ones. Bye-bye. The rest are a reserve workforce. Whenever the crew are lost on a deck, we find replacements from among those rats. If extra hands are needed anywhere else, there are always more than enough volunteers too eager to work for rations. They even queue for jobs. The rabble cause you no problem, I hope? Surely you are joking, Lord Captain. The rabble are base in nature and mutiny is always on their minds. They steal whatever they can get their hands on, and lately we've moved from rations and tinned food to weapons. We confiscate these regularly, of course, and keep the serfs meek and terrified. It's the only way we can protect the mindless herd from themselves. Oh, and another thing the bastards do on a regular basis is build their shacks in front of service tunnel entrances. That has delayed the arrival of Infernus brigades during several emergencies and caused air and power supply problems in adjacent bays. We burn those saboteurs along with their shacks, but they just keep pressing on regardless. I've learned enough. Always at your service, Lord Captain. Be steadfast in your duty, Captain Frenso. The Emperor protects, Lord Captain.
What lies?
Alright, so new level. Frenso whipped another bribe taker yesterday. He's nothing like the last captain who turned a blind eye to everything. Blah, blah, blah. The servo overseer makes a note of everyone who passes by its station every time. The Technomats are performing a sensing rite on the sacred power transformer, but the machine spirits are running rampant and will not be swayed. Box of goods? Yoink! A statue of Megos Ionius IX, architect of Freight Hub LD 987A14.
Patience. My nerves
The
are
Cogita
frayed.
dashboard controlling the rail junctions is lit up with indicator lumens for active hubs. I couldn't read all that in time. It goes away so quick. Arrival and departure announcements are pouring out of the Vox systems. And then this guy says, yes, and he looked right at me. When Lady Vigdis learns of this, she'll promote me to the middle decks. There's a sign on the ground there. Is that blood? It can't be. We scrubbed the deck 3 times right before the rogue trader came. Void, take me. The captain will have our heads. The corner of the captain's mouth twitches nervously as he mutters, damn those, how did they even... Awareness 100%. Examine the mark. Test succeeded. Wait, new teaser? Wait, hold on. What is it? 13 days. Oh, what is that? What is that? Okay, hang on. So, it looks like a winged helmet. What do you guys think? My first thought when I see this is like a Valkyrie or something. Paladin? Yeah, Paladin. I mean, well, Valkyrie is typically female, and characters can be male or female, so it's probably not that. Paragon? You think it's Paragon? Let me see. Hold on. Guild Wars 1 Paragon. Someone else said Seraph? I'm looking up Paragon, first of all. Guardian or Warrior? Weren't the Seraph just like the guards of the Queen? Yeah. Paragon, Seraph, Templar, Dragon Knight. We've already got Dragon Hunters. Pretty cool. So yeah, I guess we're getting new elite specs, chat. Also, it has the same pink-orange color scheme, so I don't think that's related, and it has the same background image. That's pretty neat. All right, we'll definitely do a news video near the end of the stream. That's pretty neat. Okay. You have seen this sort of symbol before. The cultists carve bleeding marks like this into their own skin. Kibble carves the same symbol on the back of her hand with a knife and whispers a prayer. Domin Mukluk. Remember this sign? It is the beginning of your quest, the first blood trail. Do you know what this mark is? It resembles one of the symbols associated with the bloodspun web. What was it called again? The Song of Trailing Blood, I think. It is a prayer familiar to many in this compartment. We've heard spinners say it when they, well, perform their signature acts of service to the Emperor. Edok Frenzo. Frenzo takes a deep breath. Wait, he knows the song? The soundless shadows sank into the dark. Slashed feet crescendo, a fatal dance. Blade song in tempo, each edge an echo. Twin odes to death throes. Now on her sacred blood, as she once trod the backs of foes, tread countless souls but none who know. What is the Song of Trailing Blood? From what I can tell, it's something like a prayer with several verses that tell about the life of one of the cult's saints. Ariane, or the Matriarch Spider, as they call her? You memorized the verse. Why? When I took up my post here, I made sure to familiarize myself with all of the particular qualities of this compartment. I soon heard about the verse and decided to investigate. I questioned a number of people who followed the bloodspun web as I was trying to figure out if there was anything pernicious about it, and eventually I learned the whole thing. He frowns. The words are certainly strange, but it's nothing worse than that, it seems. So Hey, Tolfantos, thank you. Appreciate you. So I am invited to follow a trail of blood, it seems. I accept the spinner's invitation. I hope you find what you're looking for and return to the upper deck safely, Lord Captain. End dialogue. Okay. You think you can make out letters woven into the intricate symbol, and though the meaning of each individual letter eludes you, together they unmistakably form an arrow pointing in a certain direction. Following the symbols will... God, the text disappears so fast. Following the symbols will enable the proper categorization of a yet unregistered crew subdivision and the location of yet unmapped compartment. Method approved.
Do we truly have to be here? I am not even sure what is making me more nauseous. These horrid colors, or the smell.
Alright, so that's the way to go. The longer you stare at the mark, the quieter the sound of the station becomes. The shadows grow longer and seem to stretch in the direction of the adjacent station. That's not the rogue trader, it's a plainclothes enforcer. Well, more of a posh-clothes one. Anyway, they're up to something and trying to play us for fools. This is the last of the hub's vials for this week's work cycle. Do you have any idea how much this costs? Although you let's see. There, 57 ration cards. It's all I've got, I swear. Spent the rest on Rotgut again, I'm guessing. I'm not doing you any more favors. Give up the drink or get used to life in the pestilence pit. The fact that you're here means your families have disowned you. You're all refuse and the stench of the lower decks is all you deserve. I hope you get hit by a train.
In this tapestry of a world, I...
The bulky doors lead to the Enforcer's living quarters and the hub's provision depots. The bulky doors lead to the Enforcer's living quarters and hub's... Okay, that just says the same thing. New teaser Records 2 is out. Yeah, Sam Storm. We were just talking about it. What do you think about it? What do you think it is? Oh, people built a shack in front of one of the doors, so they're burning it down. How do they manage to build their shanties faster than we burn them down? Second image teaser drop. Yeah, Synth, we were just talking about it. What do you think it is?
Ooh, another notch.
Stack of ration cards, charred scrap of parchment. You can barely make out the crudely scribbled words on the burnt note. Then pass the market, make sure the enforce, or you'll ruin entire operation. On the tracks, but you'll find a little gift for, give it to him and you'll see for yourself.
Genius triumphs.
Burnt man. Have mercy, make the pain stop. Mercies, please save me. The young man gasps for air through burnt lips, slipping in and out of delirium. His skin is dripping from his gaunt body like melted wax from a candle. His eyes, somehow intact, alive, clear, and filled with pain, stare at you from under caked eyelids. I wonder if you get points in, like, Iconoclast or in Heretic stuff, do you lose points in the other categories? I don't think you do. No, okay. Iconoclast, switch on your Vox. Get some Enforcers and Medicaid personnel in here now. There is a man in need of revival. Once he has recovered, assign him to be a scribe's apprentice. He is too badly injured to go back to a worker's life. A blissful smile twists the man's lips, and a tear forms at the corner of his ruined eye socket. The God Emperor has sent you to save me. You are his light. You are his grace. Thank you. Thank you for not leaving me here. Iconoclast part +3. When the Undying One is ready to accept a soul, it must be sent forth, and so will it be freed from the torment of the flesh. Yet you have chosen to prolong this one's suffering. Your intentions perplex me. Who are you and what happened to you? I'm Vale, a cleaner. I was in my house asleep. Enforcers came, set fire to it. I didn't make it out in time. I wonder how long he's been sitting here like this. A watch? 3? The Whispers say nobody cared because he didn't matter, but they also say he's somehow supposed to matter to us. Strange. Do you know anything about the mark next to you? He tries to turn his head, blackened skin crunching as it opens into scarlet cracks. A spinner came. He painted the symbol. Then he gave me water and whispered a strange verse. He told me to memorize it and to recite it later so that help would come. And here you are. Then I should... He begins to whisper, his lips twisted in pain. To soot smirched soul her mercy she did grant. Last breath expressed, knife met heart. Removed from chest, passed on to death. Her duty blessed a balm for those who suffer anguish and distress. A longing brought to rest, of mortal bonds the soul divest. Help is on the way. Just hold on a little longer. Of course. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. I remember 2012 when Commander Prof came out on April 1st, basically Master Chief. Are you talking about the Commando? I remember the Commando thing. It was like an engineer thing.
At a time, amidst the madness.
How long do you think you can keep treating us like this? We want food, we want to work. The Enforcers take bribes to put people on a list, everyone knows it. Too scrawny, get lost, a container would rip your arms off. They promised they'd assign us a freight train several watches ago. We have families to feed. That face not even a mother could love. Get out of here. Imagine you try to go get work and they're like, sorry, you're too ugly. Pascal, can you open this?
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
The time-worn loader is barely fit for purpose at this point, but the enforcers still see its complex maintenance as the lesser evil compared to hiring ignorant, clumsy scroungers to do the job.
There will be no peace.
The workers, beaten to within an inch of their lives, are returning stolen power panels, wire, and micro-lumens to containers marked disposal. Let's see. It looks like a Valkyrie, Warrior, or Guardian to me. Skysail Fireball is not enough. Could be elite specs for a new class. Yeah, so a few people had different thoughts that came to them when they saw that image. And so far, I've written down Valkyrie, Templar, Seraph, and Paragon. Now, it certainly looks like heavy armor. The picture, right? It looks like a plate helmet, which would mean that this would probably be something for Guardian or Warrior or Revenants. But I don't know specifically what it would be. Let me refresh this. Let me see if anyone else has any cool ideas. Warrior, Shirley, Bard, Guardian, helmet wings, passive, no fall damage. Active effect, your helmet flies off and headbutts an enemy. Helmet, finally a helmet-based class. Paragon for Warrior, new elite spec. Paladin, Paragon. Okay. Yeah. Those are the ideas so far.
What lies beyond?
Flute player? Oh my god, flute's in this game. A group of gawkers are crowding around a makeshift stage watching a man duo perform. A man with odd-looking goggles pushed up on his forehead, hands wrapped up in worn leather gloves, plays a tune on a handmade flute. Next to him sits a stack of crates supporting some kind of game board. A scruffy rat is rolling small glass balls around the board. What? Watch the game. Several workers empty their pockets and start throwing ration cards, bolt nuts, and even a few power panels into the small chest next to the board. The flute player winks at the crowd and switches to a different tune. The rat squeaks excitedly and starts rolling the colorful balls the players have chosen around the maze of tunnels on the board, but not a single one reaches the goal, a hole marked with a red circle. The rat just rolls all the balls off the board or into dead ends. Once the first group of players get their hopes dashed and leave empty-handed, new workers immediately take their place. Awareness. Watch the rat. The rat scurries around the board, spurred on by the flute. Its movements appear erratic at first glance, but after a while, you notice how consistently the ball seems to miss the goal at the very last moment. While the rat's clumsy, amusing scampering distracts the spectators, its nimble tail directs the balls away from the hole. Fellowship, listen. The rat's movements from the flicks of its tail to where and when it pushes the balls obey its master's wordless commands with uncanny precision. The notes, the pauses, the rhythm, every part of the melody serves as a signal to the flute player's tiny assistant. Leave. Okay, so he's ripping them off.
My nerves are frayed.
A group of beggars are rattling their alms mugs and ostentatiously display their hunger-sunken bellies in various disfigurements. A toothless man falls to his knees before you. Your lordship, spare a throne for shows who can't even work jobs? Kill the beggar. Oh my god. I've got a bunch of ration cards I don't need. Toss a stack of ration cards. Let your bellies be full tonight. Praise be the Lord, Captain. The poor descend on the alms like a pack of gutter rats, each one scurrying off to their own corner with what they grabbed.
They will see.
Another symbol.
Oh, yes. They all will see.
Commerce 100%.
I did it?
Judging by the merchant's round, well-fed face, the rusty junk laid out on the counter is merely a smokescreen for the more valuable and likely illegal goods that are now hidden from idle glances. Hawker? Burned out folks' belongings, hot from the oven, one ration card for the price for regulars, the shift only. Those baton-wielding bastards have gone bleeding mad. Another 20 of our folk torched along with their shacks.
Oh, how intriguing.
Box here. More ration cards. Hot from the oven, yeah. Muck, what about Dragoon? Dragoons? Has Dragoons ever been a Guild Wars thing? How many times do I need to tell you, ungrateful maggots? Mistakes must be paid for. Besides, Dragoon is basically Vindicator. Have mercy in the throne's name, I beg you. The battered worker throws himself at your feet and touches the toe of your boot with his dirty palms. Your gracious lordship, hand of the god emperor, save your unworthy servant. Get lost! The enforcer's heavy baton— oh my god. Pummels the man's back and shoulder several times, his bones crack audibly. My sincerest apologies, Lord Captain. Your boot. I'll clean it right away. A murmur of discontent breaks out among the gawkers who have gathered around. None of the other workers dare come closer, but the anger on their faces is plain to see. Stop the enforcer. I intend to hear this man out. Your lordship, I work hard, never even take breaks to rest, and all I earn is 7 ration cards with 15 mouths to feed back home. 15 mouths? Dude, you couldn't pull out of a driveway. The enforcers shake me down every shift, just like they do with every other honest hard worker who... Enough whining. You and your pals lifted a box of Nutribars a few watches ago and 2 canisters of water before that. I didn't beat the life out of you because I took pity on you, and this is the thanks I get? You quarantined the hub for 20 watches and refused to give out rations if we didn't have cards. Cards we had no way to earn. And today you earned 15 cards in a single shift because you do work of 3 people, right? Or did you take your pals to a dark corner somewhere, do them in, and take their share? I didn't do them in. It wasn't that. The worker stops himself, cowers, and whimpers. They got their heads bashed in by crates. The dead don't need rations. What is this? Society is much like a boot? Am I to understand that enforcers are appropriating earnings from workers after their shifts? We appropriate nothing. We just monitor and redistribute. The enforcer mutters gloomily. The rabble are a lying and thieving lot. We have instructions to stay alert for people holding more than the standard amount of ration cards to prevent supply embezzlement and famine. They do take our cards, your lordship, and then grow fat using them for themselves. The worker's eyes squeeze shut tightly as he whispers his accusations. He seems unable to believe his stroke of luck. Address the workers. Every crime will be punished accordingly. I offer no protection to thieves. Low, insistent dissent begins to rise in the crowd, only to die back down as soon as the enforcers brandish their batons. The murmurs immediately turn into pleas for mercy. A sullen, red-bearded man with keen black eyes draws your attention. His oddly piercing gaze seems to size you up the whole time you were speaking, but now he has hastened to conceal himself behind the gawkers. The next thing you know, you're watching him hurry deeper into the tunnels. The enforcer hisses at the worker vindictively. Oh yes, 12. This time I'm going to break 13 of your fingers and ribs as a lesson to your slimy accomplices. Okay. So that's the guy that dipped. Zach says, doesn't your income suffer from doing variety compared to just doing Guild Wars 2? Wow! I do have Ask Me Anything, but that's a heavy question. Short answer is yes. If I was only about, like just money, right? It is true that I have higher viewership, which equates to higher income as a, broadcaster while I am playing Guild Wars 2 because I'm more known in the Guild Wars 2 category. Yes, that is true. However, I will say that while I love Guild Wars 2, I did get burned out on it when I played it every single day and streamed it every single day for like 5 years. And when I hit burnout, I was like, I need to distance myself a little bit or I'm going to hate this game. So I started streaming it, focusing on it 1 day a week and doing variety on the other days. Yes, my income went down a little bit, but my happiness and my sanity went way up. So I was very fortunate that I was in a position where I was able to make that exchange. So, yes, you are correct, but that was my reasoning. It's a large reason that a lot of streamers burn out by playing only one game. Yeah, I mean, it's rare that anyone can play one game for that long and not have, you know, a little bit of a burnout. And for me, it took about 5 years to hit it, but I did hit it. Couldn't a new experience, fresh account challenge type of thing make for new exciting content, perhaps? Maybe, but I mean, like, I'm doing various things. Like, for example, like, I decided, I was like, I'm gonna make a guide for every raid boss. Took me a year, but I did. I'm gonna make a guide for every fractal. That took me a long time, but I did. Every strike, I did. Numerous build guides, I did. Crafting professions, I did. New players guides, I did. You know, I've made over 100 guide videos for the game at this point. Those took years to make them all. So I very much kind of felt like I'd done everything. So at this point, I kind of just play it on Tuesdays and hang out with the community that we've built up over the years. And then also whenever there's new content, we binge it for like a week straight. So as far as a new account run, I mean, I could. I'm not really interested in it though, so I wouldn't be passionate about it.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Let's see. During each shift, railway hubs direct thousands of containers carrying rogue traders' cargo to various destination compartments. Move the container. Athletic check.
Brilliance.
Wait, did it move? Like, barely moved. The bay's bulkhead is marred by traces of gunfire and rust-colored stains from old blood that was never properly washed off. Okay, nothing in there, it looks like.
One step at
See, that was odd. I clicked move container, and now the button is gone, but the box is still there. I'm wondering if that was supposed to get rid of it so I could get back here. What about a new MMO that you haven't played, though? Could be interesting, I think. I've tried quite a few. I have played EverQuest, EverQuest 2, Guild Wars 1, if that counts, Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, Black Desert Online, WildStar. I've played a bunch. In the last few years, like during that burnout period I mentioned, I tried Final Fantasy XIV, I tried Elder Scrolls Online, tried Albion Online. There was a handful I tried. None of them really, you know, got me into the game as much as GW2 did, so I didn't make like videos for them. This is the first time I've seen a rogue trader up close.
My nerves are frayed.
Okay, got a bunch of cargo there.
My Auspex has detected something.
Wait, what's going on? Oh, there's another thing. More cargo, ration cards. Look, I think you should try World of Warcraft. I think you'd really like it.
The machine god.
For those that don't know, I played like 10 years of WoW and led server first. Did
They will see.
did a lot in that game.
Indeed. They all will see.
What is this? Wait, did I just hear someone get stabbed? Oh, over here. It's like a knife fight. The kids have been waiting for you. How was your shift? We worked hard. I helped out a friend with the loading and he gave me some cards. Take them and exchange them for some new shoes. Yours are all worn out. Aww. Happy family. Thank you. I've already made your bed for you, so once we've eaten, you go and rest. The little ones and I will head out to the marketplace and leave you in peace. What? They look so happy. Someone's about to get stabbed. These two seem way too happy for this world. Why did the Emperor send me such a wonderful wife? Lower decker. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. These are the only happy people in the Imperium.
Of the world.
Wait, what? Oh, is this the pestilence pit that they were talking about? Oh my god, did they eat that slop? There's like a line of people there. See, look. Oh, does that just okay, that just replays the same thing. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to try to make an informed opinion, so I tried to play at least half an hour, yes. Like the Ors 2 League for me looks similar to a helmet from Cash Shop Logan's Packed Martial outfit. I mean, similar, certainly not like super similar. There's actually a helmet that looks just like that in the Black Lion chest right now. Like, right now. I'd have to log in to check it.
Be no peace in my wake.
Looks like a spinner killed him. Anybody know the dead man? He was a heretic, wasn't he? I heard those zealots kill even upstanding folks. They say it's the Emperor's will. Shreds of rat carcasses and yellow-green moss stew in the cloudy sludge along with other unidentifiable ingredients. So I could be killed tomorrow and I never know why? More cargo.
Curiosity.
I see what
sings in my
others do not.
veins.
Cargo, 2 ration cards.
Pay attention.
Cargo, 1 ration card. Cargo, 3 ration cards. Book of War Prayers. The wearer deals plus 10% more damage to Xenos and demons. If the wearer has Conviction Dogmatic, this bonus is doubled. Even in a place as dismal as this, people have managed to set up a small altar at which to pray. It is relatively clean and well maintained.
One step at a time.
This place reminds us that corpse starch is high quality slop compared to this. Oh god.
There.
Athletics check to get across the beam. And then I think we're full circle here. Okay. Alright, let's go down this way. Let's look at that. The food vat is protected by the vicious, hungry crowd by equally vicious thugs wielding makeshift weapons. The food vat. Hey Mike, how are ya? How did that clone game end? The altars? That was a pretty neat game. Heart-wrenching, though.
Yellow.
Ooh! Oh my god, it's above me. I thought I was getting run over by a train. The consequences of a terrible crash of monorail LD987 half a century ago are still affecting the... What is that? The efficiency of this stretch of railway.
Watch out.
Bomb? Who put a bomb here? Yellow. Never-ending path. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, how did it end? It had many endings. We got a ending, and then we looked up online, and there were happier and also worse endings than the one that we got. The slop surely has every nutrition a good worker on a ship needs. Yeah, I know, right? New Guild Wars 2 teaser. Yes, the helmet. We were talking about it. Dizzy, you got any ideas on it? I'm wondering if anyone else has ideas that we haven't thought of. All right, crumpled scrap of parchment. Give our gift to the ones who see nothing but hears everything. Then the truth will be revealed to you.
They will see. Oh yes, they all
Weird, my little
will
voices have
see.
shut up. Now they're just giggling quietly every time you go to touch something. How about we head back and wash our hands with soap 10 times? The stench of decaying bodies creeps into your throat and lungs, forming a sticky film lining your airways. Stop being so bloody difficult. What's that thing the death cultists say? Your time has come, or what have you. No, please, what did I do? Talk about being everywhere at once. How about we take his stuff to the marketplace? We'll get to eat soup tonight. Wow. Okay. Medicaid check. This man is suffering from a severe but curable disease. One vial of medicine administered in the early stages would have saved him.
In this tapestry of a world,
no one finds the courage to approach the bodies of these outcasts, their rotting flesh and cartilage bearing the marks of void disease. Cassia, my lungs are filled with the decay of lifeless bodies. They are flashing toxic colors. Please do not touch anything. Outcast leader. The specimens before you must be the most repellent inhabitants in this compartment. They are covered in sores and bald patches, glistening with pus, and the stench of unwashed bodies brings a tear to your eye. One of them glowers at you and grunts. What you want? I am the Lord Captain of this ship. On your knees, insolent scum. The outcasts look at one another and burst into a hoarse, gurgling cackles. The Lord Captain in our shithole, and I'm St. Drusus, and this here's Regalia. The man exposes an armpit riddled with boils. Cassia lets out a faint sigh, hastily covering her face with her hands. Gracious Emperor, why are we talking to these horrible people? The Argenta towers over the freak, looking immaculate and unaffected. Even meeting wretched heretics such as these bring me joy. Wiping out even a drop of corruption is still a worthy deed. Awareness test succeeded. You detect a note of hysteria in the vagrant's laughter. The fingers of many are convulsively trembling, and there is something in the fearless way they look at you, an indifference to death too strange and unnatural. What are you, mutants? Invalids? Mold eaters, outcasts, folks who have no place even among the lowest of the low. Some were born that way, some were driven out to keep them from spreading the contagion. The foreman won't let us near the vat. The enforcers try to shoot us on sight, as if it's our fault that we were born in a terrible place. We are worms in the rotten belly of this ship, fodder for disease. The outcast licks his lip and you see a tongue studded with small, underdeveloped teeth. A tongue studded with teeth! This is no disease, but an obvious mutation. The longer you stare at the man, the more deviations from human form you detect. Wretches such as this, disfigured by genetic abnormalities and disease, are the perfect breeding ground for true corruption. Attack. This ship will be a little cleaner without you. The mutant bears the black stumps that are his teeth. We'll gut you and trade what you have on you as a pile for scran. Hey, outcast, come on up if you want to share in the spoils.
Oh, another annoyance.
Surrender to the dark powers!
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
And that leaves them on fire, right?
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Death to the weak! Chaos guides me!
Shields me!
I gotta be careful or I'm gonna cleave right through Argenta, which is not what we want. Yo, that still hits her? What the heck? Hang on.
I shall not fail.
Wait, what? Hold on, I am confused with this. Raining Blood. Next single target melee attack splashes blood in a 5-cell cone behind the target. Yeah. Okay. The assassin and allies in the affected area gain Blood Blessed. Yeah, okay. But if I do this, it looks like it's going to do massive damage to Argenta and Adira. Do you see that? Like, if I hit this, it looks... No damage?
Let your soul be purged.
You're right. Their health was blinking, though. So I was like, what the heck? Okay.
Serve the ruinous powers!
My vow is to serve. The Omnissiah condemns you.
On it. Anything else?
Okay, those two died.
Genius.
Alright, taunted all of those.
A wicked thought.
Alright, so we can focus on the rest of the stuff now.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
If only that were possible. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
But of course.
Me? If you insist, Lord
To the
Captain.
weak.
Such is the will.
It's nothing.
Wait. Oh, I didn't... I had the animation speed too. I didn't even see what hit us there.
Leave footprints of scarlet.
Chaos guides me.
Request approved. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Let's see.
Will do.
Give her dodge bonuses.
On it. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Let's see.
Can't get taunt on those up there
wicked
right now.
thought. Let's see. Schemes within schemes.
Alright, Argenta's turn. That was a 95% chance to hit! Oh my god. She's X-comming.
Will do. Farewell.
If I may. Me. If you insist, Lord Captain.
But she's there, Will.
Argenta just went down. Did she? I guess she had a dot on her and I didn't even see it.
Trust me, killing brings me no pleasure. I am your blade and shield.
She was in a cloud of poison gas. Oh, the green stuff? Oh, I didn't even realize that was doing damage. Okay.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Was that you? Or... Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
What beholds the wrath of madness? A genius at work.
I'm afraid not.
Did I already give this buff to Pascal? No, I didn't.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
On it, farewell.
Oh, okay, I get it. Some of them are like popping when they die.
Battlefields are always drowned.
Alright, did not pick up on that earlier.
If this is my death, may my blood be a worthy sacrifice. My blade whispers your name. Death is a blessing.
Okay, we got it. Wait, no! What's happening? Oh, fight ended. That's the last mob. I was like, wait, no, I'm not done with her turn. What's happening? Okay, what is that? Crippled arm. Oh, great. Okay, she has an injury.
You cannot trick death. It will
There we go. Alright, got rid of that.
Day.
Let's see. They posted the first and we're at 15 days, and the next came out 2 days after. That would mean that every second there should be a new post. Possibly. The stench of decaying bodies creeps into your throat and lungs, forming a sticky film lining your airways. Gross. Let's see.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
The mold is dotted with glandular tendrils that ooze slime. Sick people who... Oh man, the text disappears so fast. Sick people who are still alive but can no longer walk are the mold's favorite choice of host to grow on and suck the last of life's juices from them. I'd be dead if it weren't for you. Why are you helping a worthless old woman like me or any of the other rotten souls around here? A good person took care of me and helped me to stand again. They didn't take anything in return. They just asked me to show that same kindness to someone else. Monk, figure what new Guild Wars icon is. Looks like Seraph logo, which means Revenant specialization. They could invoke Logan Thackeray, and then you start simping for feet. You know, I actually do. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, you just actually gave me an idea with your stupid joke. All right. There is... I can't remember his name. Hold on. It's a different Thackeray. Dylan. Dylan Thackeray was the older brother of Logan Thackeray, and he was the commander of the Seraph before he died. What if you're halfway there? What if the new Revenant specialization is channeling the dead commander of the Seraph? Ooh, what if it runs in the family? No, Dylan wasn't ever after the feet. Yeah, you know, maybe that's a speculation.
Beyond.
The Lord Captain spent too much time in the pestilent pit by the void ship's freight line, and now his skin is covered and inflamed. Oh no! Suspicious rash!
A tantalizing anomaly.
Nothing escapes my sight. Duty prevails. I better myself.
Spinner of bloodwebs, I'm no heretic, and yet I'm begging you for death. Can you make an exception for a tormented soul?
Me today.
This explorator is blessed.
The undying Emperor has whispered his will, your soul is now given unto him. Oh wow. She's like, okay.
At a time.
Alright, what is that stuff we just picked up? We got a glove. If worn by a death cult assassin, whenever the wearer kills an enemy, that enemy explodes in a fountain of blood. The cells nearby are covered in blood as if affected by blood file. There's no tooltip for blood file. Okay.
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
Good afternoon, my computer's the stream. What's up, Smashy? No one finds the courage to approach the bodies of these outcasts, their rotting flesh and cartilage bearing the marks of void disease. Yep, we already read that one. Alright. Repair the control panel, tech use 100.
Operation successful.
Go up. I bet the people that work here are probably pretty mad that I just made a working elevator that gets people out of the pestilence pit.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Everyone, hope you're all hiding effectively from Evil Daystar. What's up, Tamarkan? Is there another one here? Hold on, I need to move. So there's one of those symbols. Dead man. Loot. I don't think I can reach that door. I'm gonna try. No. He just walks up to that corner and stops. Okay. A sinewy middle-aged man watches the bustle of the bay with a detached expression. Every so often, whenever his eyes linger on the blood mark inscribed nearby, his face changes strangely and his hands clench in a fist. Just as you begin to hear the rumble of an approaching train, the man's gaze turns towards the tracks. He leans forward. What do you think you're doing? What? I didn't... The man starts and almost falls, but manages to keep his balance. In the dim lumen light, you notice the old scars scattered all across his body. The scars seem vaguely familiar. Pascal's Vox synthesizer springs to life with an indignant Banaric trill. I am registering this unit's intention to use the train tracks for purposes other than those intended by their design. I categorically demand that the unit's self-disposal be carried out using methods that do not violate the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation. He's like, if you are gonna kill yourself, do not do it with my train. Okay, you're making a mess. Lore check, look at the man's scars. The scars all vary in length, width, depth, and shape. However, you notice a pattern in the way the scars are aligned, as well as a series of faded symbols on the man's rough skin. Death cultists bear similar marks on their bodies. But spinners are constantly renewing their wounds, while this man's looks long since healed. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Your eyes always return to that blood symbol. What do you know about it? It's a symbol of the bloodspun web. I come here every watch, but it hasn't been here before now. I guess today must be a special day. He smiles strangely. Laura says, what is the size of the ship to have a whole plague going on and everyone's being affected by it? Laura, the void ships in Warhammer 40k, I believe are staffed by tens of thousands of people. Hold on, size of Warhammer 40k void ship. Like, they're basically giant cities. Like, there are people that work in the engine room, and they're like, oh, yeah, my family's worked here for 8 generations. Let's see. Warhammer 40k void ships vary in size, but they generally range from a few kilometers long to 20 kilometers in length. Smaller vessels like frigates can be only 1 to 2 kilometers long. Yeah, so it's basically a flying city. The man's faded eyes go wide as he notices Cabela. His voice quivers. Have you come to take me to the other side? Kibela briefly studies the man's face, then turns away. I do not know you. Death's gaze is not upon you. The man lets out a dull groan and turns to look at the symbol again. But then why? Why is it here? Who are you? A dead man. I lost my name years ago. I've just been another dead man ever since. You know the symbols of the blood-spun web. You bear similar scars. Are you a spinner? I was, but I failed to complete my final assignment, so I was exiled from the cult. The Vizier told me to kill the one who would be at a certain junction of the utility tunnels at a certain hour. I went to the appointed spot, then I waited. An hour, 2, 5. The junction was still empty. Nobody came. After hours of waiting, I finally realized the person at the junction had been me the whole time. It was my turn to go to the Undying One. But I was afraid. I couldn't do my duty. I ran. You were ordered to die. For what reason? The man looks at you. But some would choose to leave the righteous path. Those earned penance in due time. Her whips sing vengeance on renegades' menace. Her blades pass sentence. For cowards seek to hide their hearts, but death makes no pretendance. It takes what is due in essence. He stops then adds hoarsely, the third verse of the Song of Trailing Blood. The Vizier recited it to me before sending me on my final assignment. I didn't realize at the time it was my judgment. There were plenty of reasons. I sowed death. I offered him the souls of the most pleasing men and women I could find because it kindled my passions. I killed well-off crewmen who didn't deserve their wealth, and I took their thrones. I killed enforcers who looked into my eyes without fear because I wanted to be feared. I reveled in bloodshed. I betrayed the tenants. I realized it, but I couldn't help it because I enjoyed it. Oh, you poor thing. I think I'm gonna cry. You just couldn't stop slicing people up. That must have been so hard for you. Even my whispers have nothing to say to a pathetic tale like that. I bet they're thinking what a lousy, self-absorbed sack of scum. So the spinners simply let you go. They made no attempts to find and kill you? There was no pursuit. I thought I'd see their black blades the very next day. Instead, years passed without them taking my heart. I tried starting a new life, but the terror never stopped eating away at me. When I got truly desperate, I went to the Temple of Death myself, but no one there would speak to me. When I gave them my name, they just whispered, Sabreed has gone to the Undying One. They looked through me like I wasn't even there. I've lived like this for 20 years, like a coward, like a dead man. Did you see the new teaser symbol revealed? Yeah, the hat. Yes. Dang, those are big ships. Yeah. This is the first one I've seen that had trains in it, Laura. But yeah, they are big, big ships. You do not sound particularly remorseful. No, I've been afraid to touch my own knife since that day. I thought I might just stab me on its own, but the temptation's always there. You are a coward and a butcher of the innocent. I will purge my ship of your existence. The man does nothing to stop you. He even leans closer to the rails, accepting his fate with a smile on his face. The Undying One is death. Am I about to knock him onto the train tracks? Oh! Pascal's gonna be mad about that. We just messed up his train. Kibla stares at the remains of he who was once her brother in service. Truly, it is better to die for him than to live for yourself. This he forgot. Okay, then. Hold on. So, we got 3 verses of this song thing. Don't really know what to do with it now. Just says freight line. The symbols end here. Let's go down to the lower levels and look down there. I've been given a sandwich.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
We've already been down here. Was there any more symbols down here? Yes, right here. Medineh the outcast. A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering instinctively in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Medineh to the other side? No, 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 no. You're just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? There is a blood symbol next to you. I have seen such marks before. Is this another part of the Song of Trailing Blood? Oh yes, the song. Here, listen, listen. The woman starts chanting hurriedly. She wandered an eternity in the dark, yet was consoled, web foretold. Undying one's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end, and so the spider did that much was owed, her life and death to ship bestowed. She laughs again, and you'll see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness, look, look. Peer into the darkness. I cannot fathom what I am meant to see here. You peer into the darkness and are gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses, rough walls, the twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see it, do you? You don't see! Medineh shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off with them. Ugh! You will not see until you become like Medineh, the flesh and blood of the ship. How do I become the flagship's blood? Oh, Medineh will show you, and you'll see the true light. Come, come now. Do not jump in the fan. Is she gonna jump in the fan? Is this? Oh my god. And now there's a travel marker here. Now we can go through that. I'm like, where's the singing if this is a song? I didn't know the beat. Alright, toughness. Wait, what? There we go. Toughness. No. Athletics or corrals? Athletics, I guess. Let's see. Foreboding. All allies gain dodge. Dominate. Sanctic powers. Pyromancy. Biomancy. I guess foreboding. Let's see. While the Psyker is not in the target's line of sight or the Psyker is in cover, all resistance tests of the target will suffer -12 penalty. Force attacks do +3 more damage and +15% armor pen. I don't know what a force attack is. Is Psychic Scream a force attack? Every 6 use of a Psyker power by the Psyker, all enemies gain stacking -5 penalty to all stats till end of combat. Hell yeah, I'd get that. Force weapons are Psyker melee weapons. Oh, like the energy swords? Perception. Let's see. Like Darktide Force Sword Psyker. Yeah. Alright. I feel like this whole section is so meh. I don't know. I don't know what to pick for her this time. I guess dodge chance doesn't hurt. It's kind of a it's okay for everyone kind of thing. Held in my gaze, and damage to an enemy. Alright, so that's the long range single target damage. Lips of Fate, Mend Reality. Veil degradation hasn't really been a problem. Notch of Purpose. Moves an enemy. Waking Nightmare. Let's get lasers. Whenever an enemy fails a resistance test against a navigator power, attacks against them gain plus 30% crit chance until they've been crit. The Navigator makes all resistance tests with willpower if it's higher than the base characteristic for such test. If the Navigator's willpower is higher than the toughness, their wounds are calculated with this. Ooh, that's really good. That's gonna be a lot more health. Tactical knowledge. Remove exploits from enemies in a 5-cell radius around you. All allies gain plus exploit remove plus percentage armor to the end of combat. Huh. That sounds fun. I love stacking buffs. Let's give him another mechanical arm. More arms for Pascal. Let's see. Weapon skill. That's fine. Demolition. Awareness. Demolition's fine since we're going to have Argenta out of the party soon, TM. Alright, save game. And jump in the fan, I guess. The rotating blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them would require some unreasonably precise calculations or blind luck. While listening to the air current, for a moment you think you hear Zedena's whispered prayer rising from the depths of the shaft. Dogmatic. I put my life in thy hands, for I truly believe that thou wilt protect. The words come easily, and all of your doubts fade away. Somehow you know with certainty your life will not end here. Athletics. Yeet! I mean, I'm the captain of the ship. Couldn't I just say, yo, bridge, turn this fan off? Cal says, have you seen the new class icon? I have. Do you have any thoughts on what you think it is?
Curiosity.
Oh, the rest of my crew is gone. They all died.
Genius triumphs.
Yoink. I'm glad I had athletics on my main character for this. This would kind of suck.
no peace in my wake.
Picking up loot in your own ship. I have said multiple times it's really weird I take cargo from my ship to add to my cargo on my ship. Tangles of improvised bridges constructed from beams and flooring stretch even higher, not unlike a web. The temple is growing as if it were a living organism. Like, I usually don't mind hints on games you already played. I'm going to say that even though they have nerfed filtering protocols straight for Pascal, it's so crazy good once you manage to find a plasma gun. Yeah, he has a lot of perks with plasma weapons. I do recall that. I've picked a few of them already.
They will
Rest of your group watched you jump and just said, nope, he's mad.
They
Yeah.
all will see.
Cold stone sarcophagi serve as the death cultist's beds. The bones of their deceased comrades are their bedding. Huh? That sounds like you're going to get back pain. Medicaid 40%? Probably. The smoke tickles your nostrils, making you slightly dizzy. Such substances are known to induce visions or hallucinations. Oh, the rest of the crew is here. Vizier of the bloodspun web. Alright, hang on. A frail old man, gray beard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaw seem eerily snake-like. And the Lord of the Ark walks the paths of unlife in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner. And the servants of death bow before him, for the Daemon is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods toward the temple's muffled silence. Yes. Yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenants demand. Your hues are almost as pale as the gray of your beard. But what is this? Cassia flinches and takes a shuddering breath. A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colors. A servant of death who sees beyond the threshold. A spider who spins a cocoon at the end of his thread. Adira shakes her head and clutches her temples. Sorry about that. It just came over me. I didn't say anything too weird, did I? A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant the dynasty's symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping with blood. With a brief motion, he flicks the blood off his blade and several drops land on your face. Rude. The bloodspun web welcomes its new lord. I am the Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited, whisper echoes from the shadows. So you just walked my companions in here the normal way while I was forced to take the jump? The spinners guided them along a different trail. You had to take the step, for only you were meant to become the flagship's blood, Daemon. There was no reason to test the faith of those who follow you, for this burden was for their lord to bear. I like that they actually draw attention to that. Vizier, is this some sort of title? It is the name we give to the first spinner. The ones who have learnt the wisdom of the tenets of the web in order to lead others. I may have a duty to instruct and spin bloody threads, but in all other ways I am as much his servant as yours and yours as anyone else on this ship. What do you mean you have waited for many years? It was not so long ago I made my acquaintance with the cult. As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his tarot, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls onto their new journey. That was when, in the intricate tangle of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. But when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited year after year, and now the hour has come. How did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of the ship without anyone noticing? Followers of the cult once inhabited the tunnels between the bay's bulkheads until the threads of fate were dangled and a daemon of ages past gave us this compartment. We set ourselves to building spacious halls where there's shadows, the images of him and the spinners themselves would whisper of death. And thus the temple that you see began to change with the succession of viziers and the cult's generations. We are building it still, slowly but surely. Why is it you have invited me here? Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual, but only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The vizier is suddenly distracted by someone invisible and nods towards empty space. Yes, we are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve. Might be a good idea to explain the tarot. We talked about it a few days ago. Hang on. His tarot. A deck of psychoactive cards bearing sacred and meaningful images. So it's like tarot cards. Tarot cards are used for divination and predicting the future. They are believed to be able to capture images sent by the Emperor himself. In the hands of a skilled psyker, the Emperor's tarot can be a truly potent divination tool. Alright. I don't know anything about that other than what we just read. I have walked the path of the matriarch's spider. What now? The Song of the Trailing Blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it and setting out on that path, you've passed the first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fear and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown, a search for death. The trial for compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. For the choice of between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. Oh, the guy I kicked into the train? And the fourth was the trial of duty. Duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, for the 4 trials have brought you here. Were the trials truly necessary? Would not a conversation have sufficed? The vizier bows his head guiltily. Such are the tenets of the web. They are all we have ever known and the only life we have learned to live. The path you walked was a gift from the Undying One, and so we decided that is how we were to honor you. The vizier's sewn-shut eyes seem to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into empty space again. Peace, my brother. The time has almost come. Who is it you talk to Who is it you talk to all the time? The vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult. I hear them from beyond their deaths, they share their wisdom. I heed them. The other spinners they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear. I see your eyes are sewn shut. Are you blind, or is that another of the cult's rituals? I was sighted for much of my life until a disciple of mine violated the tenets and I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with the gaius of true sight. Now I see more and better. So this entire conversation is another test, I imagine? A smile graces the vizier's bluish lips. The tenets command us to be prepared for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Just a second. Drink of water. Are you prepared, Damin Mukluk? His mouth closes, but you can still hear his whispers. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from the vizier's blade. A strange, serene calm envelops your body. Ooh, look at the screen. Your fatigue subsides and you seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before. The shadows in the corners taking on shapes and colors. The subdued lumen light playing on the cultist bone masks. Are they really masks? Their tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine. Look around the temple. One moment the walls of Death's sanctums grow infinitely wide. The next, they are so narrow as to make it hard to breathe. The floor dances under your feet, and the Undying Emperor's statue seems to shake its head threateningly as it looks down upon you. Dude, I got drugged. Either by the splashing blood or the incense. Medineh. What? is the meaning of this? Your heart is beating slowly. Your breathing has become deeper. Your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of a potent stimulant. You poisoned me somehow, did you not? The Vizier nods meekly. My blood is infused with a concoction taken by those who follow the thread. It is sacred and harmless to us, but it befogs and afflicts. And yet, Daman Mukluk, you have grasped that the mind may yet fail the body and the senses. This was the trial of spiritual acumen. You have passed it. Guards, execute this man. He drugged me. And what happens now? That is for you to tell me. You look at the Vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response. First, you are going to give me the antidote. There is none, but I will ease its effects and quicken dissipation. 3 long, thick needles appear in the Vizier's hand. A moment later, they are inside your body, one in your neck, shoulder, and one between your ribs. You feel no pain or discomfort. On the contrary, your mind feels clearer and your muscles regain their function. The Vizier then carefully removes the needles. Now you will feel better. So, I don't really love either of these options. One is enough tests and trials, your insolence crossed all reasonable lines, you'll be punished. Which I would assume, which kind of sounds like it's going to end whatever this story is, right? But the whole point of the DLC is to, see the new content. The other one is make me a servant of death. Which kind of sounds like becoming a blade dancer, which is not my character. But, I think we picked number 1 to see the more of the story. Now you are going to initiate me as a servant of death. A servant of death! Hiss the echoing whispers from the temple, and the Vizier bows his head reverently. You have become the blood of the flagship. Now you will become one of his faithful servants. We may not name you a spinner, for a spinner's thread demands the forsaking of one's previous life. But the bloodspun web will still accept you. The tenants allow it, but only for a Daman who has followed the trailing blood until the end. Oh god, do I have to, go into the blood waterfall? Ooh, no! Ooh! No, I'm eating sandwiches! No! Rah! Oh, there's a bunch of dead people up there! Rah! Oh my god. I'm trying to eat my peanut butter and jelly. Upon the ritual platform at the Undying Emperor's feet, under the keen gaze of his dark, empty eye sockets, you feel completely insignificant. Surprisingly, the thick blood pouring from his hands onto your brow, chest, and shoulders is still warm. They got a microwave up there. Bowed before his image, the Vizier assumes the ceremonial postures with incredible ease. His withered body moving swiftly and soundlessly. You are slowly plunged into darkness to the sound of ritual chants and swooshing blades. Amid the noise of splashing blood and the cultist whispers, you hear the words, "Death has spoken your name, Daman Mukluk. Death accepts you." Offer a prayer to the Undying Emperor. Each word consecrated to him echoes in your temples and chest. Your veins become hot, your blood turns to liquid flame. You have no fear in you. A whisper seems to come from you from the Emperor's lips of stone. I see you. Could the lingering intoxication be playing tricks on your mind? This big incense bearer, it's just, whee! Whee! Just... A strange rash you developed on the freight line's pestilence pit grows pale and scabs over. A healing grace descends upon you. Okay. So the blood waterfall cured the rash? The Vizier's voice grows suddenly thunderous and snaps you out of your reflections. Death has accepted you, Daman Mukluk. Now and for all time, you are the Blood Warden and the Undying One's most venerable servant. It felt as if the God Emperor was watching me. Too many. He comes during their time of service, in images of blood and whispers from the shadows. But remember that those are mere visions, for true death will not come for you until your time, and it will take your soul gently in its bony hands. Blood Warden. Very flattering. I will add it to my other titles. Now that you are part of the bloodspun web, remember henceforth to beware of vanity, for it leaves gaping rents in the armor of our souls. So the ritual is complete. The ritual is complete, but you are not. The Vizier gestures for one of the cultists who is carefully holding a strange garment to come closer. For years we have maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies who to grace this sanctum, and the first of them all to be initiated so. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear our exaltation and accept this gift as a vestment sewn from the bones of his faithful with the threads of death. Spinner's ritual vestments. When I read, we are uplifted in spirit, hear our exaltation, I was just imagining all of these assassins being like, oh! The cultists whisper prayers to the Undying One as they help you change your clothes and regain your faculties. Steam achievement. You became a spinner of the bloodspun web. They did not change my clothes. Oh, I guess they just like, got me out of bloody clothes and then did my laundry. Let's see. That's actually really good for me. Higher armor, same dodge, and then bonus dodge when you're not in cover. Bonus damage reduction, and plus strength bonus wounds. Wounds is just hit points in this game, so higher max health. And it looks like a ribcage. Very hardcore. Okay. That was wild. A crimson torrent flows from the statue's hands, a symbol of the countless deaths offered up in his name.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Ribbed for your pleasure? Lol. Underneath the ancient relic is a stone plaque with an inscription carved in elegant cursive. If you value life above duty, you are not worthy of life. Vizier Geophranus. Crimson Intoxicants. Blood Drinker. Whenever the wearer makes a melee attack, they regain a wound. Oh my god. Well, she makes a lot of melee attacks.
Patience? My nerves are frayed.
We need a mini of Mux reading this dialogue while also hearing "we" each time that chandelier passes.
Applaud my brilliance.
Spinner's Blade. Bloody Pact. This knight grants its wielder a special ability called Crimson Rage. The wielder can suffer damage equal to 25% of their max wounds to regain an action point. Can be used multiple times per turn as long as the wielder has at least 50% wounds. So you can feed your health for more actions.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Cast your eye there.
Wait, what? Oh. Already read that. Part of the cult's service to the Undying One involves turning the corpses of the departed into sacred altars for blood-anointed congregation to pray at. Okie dokie. Is there anything else to do here right now? Damin Mukluk has honored us with a visit. We are glad. First Spinner. Peace, Kibilla. You are the shield. You are the shadow. You are the blade. So be them. Okay. What are the tenets of the bloodspun web? I want a clear answer. Every thread ends in death. The Vizier falls silent as though those words have explained everything. Then he nods toward empty space. Yes, I see he is still full of questions. Let us give him answers about our ways, my brothers and sisters. The followers of the web are skillful fighters. What is your secret? He smiles gently. I cannot share the full wealth of my knowledge, for it has taken me a lifetime to learn. But I can share this foremost lesson with you that is guided by reason, not fury. When you fight, and seek no pleasure in killing, that is how you will win. What do your tenets say about human weaknesses? The smallest stain of rot is enough to ruin the most beautiful woven pattern. Weakness is a gateway into the soul, one we hold open for new failings. It is born of desire. Kill your desires, and your weakness will die along with them. What is your supreme commandment? To give and receive death, and to fear no twist or turn of fate. One who is afraid of death is already dead in their soul, waiting for the end. Afraid to accept the inevitable. A life of fear is disgraceful. The true service is dedicating oneself to death with no regrets. I see. Your traditions and rituals are rooted in blood and death. Many are frightened by that. Many are blind even when their eyes are wide open. Thus spoke the matriarch Spiner. People look at things without seeing their essence, which makes them easy to beguile or frighten. We adorn the tunnels with the bones of the righteous, that they may guard our faithful against corruption and corrupt deeds and thoughts. We use the blood of the unholy ones for divination, so that we may see dangers. The blood of martyrs is our wine, for their suffering makes us stronger. People are afraid, but only because they see death as the end. Death, however, is a beginning. It is life and duty and oblivion. Death has many facets. That is its essence. That is its beauty. Okay.
There will be no peace in my wake.
A spinner, his face covered in bleeding glyphs, makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way to Daman. The way to what? The spinner points his finger upward as the ventilation shaft through which you reach the temple the first time. The path to where the lay people dwell in complex. Web-like. Let me show you. Show me the way. Okay. So now we can go to other spots. Alright, let's go back to the bridge. My voice is getting hoarse. I love this game, but my voice gets hoarse doing so much reading. I'm gonna finish my sandwich. Did you do any work on your PC? Yeah. Last night, I went back to troubleshooting, and in looking up the error code that I was having, there was multiple things that people had listed, oh, this fixed it for me, right? A couple of people said moving their RAM around. And even they were like, I don't know why this worked, but it did. So if my RAM in the slots in the computer were 1, 2, 3, 4, I opened the computer up last night, and I had to move a lot of stuff to get to it, but I moved them, and so now they are 4, 3, 2, 1. So I moved all the sticks. I have no idea if that's going to help, but I stayed up late doing that last night to see if it would. So if we have another crash in the future, then I'll know that that didn't help, and then we go on to trying the next thing. Alright. Let's see. I'm curious, can I talk to... Where is she? Her, Kibla. I want to talk to Kibla and see if she has anything new after me doing all that weird stuff.
Daman.
Ah! What are you doing? Daman Mukluk. Kibla puts away the dagger she's been using to reopen her freshly cut wounds. Gesture at the scars covering her skin. You torture your own flesh. What is the meaning of this ritual?
Torture? I bear the sacred marks of the Undying One's service. Death has bestowed them upon me. Though others may cherish hollow riches or meaningless beauty, it is my duty to cherish his gift of blood. Each wound is a symbol of our service to him. Each drop of blood carries his blessing. To renounce these scars is to renounce the Undying One himself.
Can you fix her, Muck? Oh, yeah. I could. But I'm gonna be honest, Henry, whatever is wrong with her is way hotter.
Death whispers to me, you are worthy of bearing his marks. Tell me, Daman, do you wish to honor your flesh with his gifts?
I assume this will not be a painless procedure.
I have not felt pain in a long time. But yes, your body will certainly suffer. Embrace the pain and make it a part of you. It will be your salvation, even on your darkest days.
No name found raided my stream with 21 viewers.
No name found. You picked a heck of a time to join in. We're currently flirting with an assassin chick. Back in my day, getting a goth girl to be interested in you, you just had to, like, listen to her talk about healing crystals for a while. Now you gotta let her carve a symbol into your arm. Oh, man, it's gotten weird. The dating game is wild right now. It would be an honor to bear the mark of the Undying One.
Let it be so. Treasure his gift, Domin. Inscribe it anew each time you pray. May his blessing find you.
Kibble awaits patiently as you prepare yourself for the ritual. Once you are ready, she carefully presses her blade to your skin and carves the sacred symbol into your flesh with skillful precision. The wounds sting and burn painfully as they begin to bleed. We're just doing this right on the bridge. You always address me as Domin. What does that word mean?
The Gothic we use to communicate is different to that spoken.
Much
on
love,
the
Muck.
upper
Thank you, No
decks.
Name.
Domin has many meanings. Giver of life, Lord or Lady of the Ark, and Shadowless Sun. The matriarch Spider gave this title to the rogue trader who allowed her to form the bloodspun web. We use other titles as well. For example, Venai means Master of the Immaterium, or Watcher of the Veil. Vil means one who must go to the other side. Amik means one you can trust in battle.
No Name says, Mug, I started a new account ago where it's completely free to play, gonna farm everything. Maybe I will get the DLCs just because they're on sale. Oh, nice! You are not the first to do a, I mean, I don't know if you would call it this, but, you know, like 0 to hero type of thing, restart a new account and, you know, see how it's like again. Are you going to, boost, or are you going to, start at level 1 and level up normally? Did you ever meet Theodora von Valancius?
I met her once when I was young. The Vizier saw a serpent hiding among those close to Domin Theodora, ready to sink its fangs into her throat.
An assassin, then.
I was ordered to find the serpent and sever the soul from its body. I watched and waited for weeks. I hid among the shadows, the air ducts and the faceless masses. Once I found the serpent, I sliced off its head and returned to the temple. I doubt that Domin Theodora ever saw me, but the 3 ritual cuts I left behind on the body let her know that this death was pleasing to him. They sent us a grand feast from the upper decks before the cycle's end. We gave it to the hungry.
Tell me about the Emperor's Tarot.
I use blood to read his sacred cards and hear the whisper of the Undying One.
Bezos, I told you to keep me subbed for those amazing Discord emojis. Mukluk Failo, hi Mukluk Bobble.
Hey, Michael, thank you.
His tarot is not an answer, but a question I ask of the universe. And the universe answers with questions of its own. In this sacred communion, I perceive hundreds of possible outcomes. They are all true, and yet they are only visions. I know what will come to pass, and yet I do not.
The thing that scares me the most is the 14 days for Aurora. Oh my god, you're gonna do Aurora again? Ugh. Lore Imperium. The Emperor's Tarot is usually read by sanctioned psychos.
I am the spear of his retribution, not a witch or a sorcerer or a soothsayer. I have no strange powers, but I do bear his blessing. I do not command the veil. I am guided by his whisper and led by my faith, by the tenets. Please, do not mistake me for something I am not.
Lore warp test succeeded. You occasionally feel a shiver run down your spine or detect faint sparks in the air when you're standing next to Kibula. It seems her powers only manifest when practicing divination or in moments of pious exaltation. Kibula herself does not seem to be aware of her gift. Can you give me a reading?
Ask the cards, Domin, and I will listen.
Kibela carefully takes out her Imperial Tarot deck. A black blade flashes before your eyes, and blood drips from her palm onto the cards. That's bad for the cards. She closes her eyes and listens. What does the future hold for me? Kibela draws 4 cards from the deck and lays them face down before you.
The first card is the young warrior. It suggests inexperience, a path of becoming. The second card is the shattered world inverted. The path will have twists, turns, and thorns, but you will gather allies along the way and find what was lost. The third, the hound inverted. Someone has marked you as their prey and is chasing you through a field of traps. The lost child. You will leap into one of those traps of your own free will and place your trust in someone truly desperate.
I have no more questions at this time. How did you come to have a deck of his tarot?
It is a holy relic that has been passed down from generation to generation. Only the first and second spinners are allowed to study the sacred cards and interpret their meaning. We use his tarot to guide the
Apparently my
cult
subscription
and
had
discern the
lapsed. Have
tangled
some Bezos bucks.
Thank you, Mr. Mattyman.
threads of fate.
How many cards are in your deck?
34. There used to be more, but some have perished in the darkness of time. Their loss is a great tragedy for the bloodspun web.
Alright, I must take my leave.
May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
Alright, cool. So, we made quite a chunk of progress on the first DLC. And did a few other things as too. Well, oh, I didn't see this. If worn by Death Cult Assassin, when the wearer gains a stack of Blood Blessed, they also gain plus 10 toughness for 2 rounds. Does not stack. So that goes on her. Okay. Alright. So we are going to save our progress here. I want to allow a few minutes to go over the new Guild Wars 2 news, and we'll be back on Rogue Trader in the morning. Alright. Now give me just a second, chat. Let's do some digging here for a second. Let me change categories. Let's see. Quick video on the new teaser. And those are psychoactive cards, so each one is a big deal. A full deck is a price artifact at the Imperium. Yeah. Alright. So, first off, I want to see... Hang on a second. Where is... I need a picture of a calendar. Alright, so let me do this. Let me open Paint here. And this, and then crop it. Okay, so, let's see. 13 days, right? Hang on. So we have had so far, we had a teaser here and a teaser here, right? The Bard one was on Monday, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's on the 30th. Yeah, the Bard teaser was on Monday. And this new one is today, on the 2nd, okay? And the first one said 15 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so the 15th. All right. Nope, don't do that. So 15th. Boop. That's when it all gets released. All right. So let's say that there's going to be 9 teasers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So I would guess if they're skipping Tuesdays, because they skipped Tuesday this week, then that right there is 9 classes. What do you think? I think it's like that. I think we get a teaser on each of those days. Because they skipped Tuesday of this week. So if they skip Tuesday of next week, then it's left with this. Because they're off on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's my thoughts on their release schedule for these teasers based on the information I have so far. The next thing is the pink and orange. Hang on a sec. Notepad. Let me open this up. Let me open my scribbles here just a moment. Okay. All right. So, background picture. Pink-orange theory is gone because they used it in 2 photos. And then, what does the helmet mean? Possibilities. Okay. And then stuff that people yelled at me. I'm just writing down every option people yelled at me. All right, Valkyrie, Paladin, Templar, Seraph, Paragon. All right. I think only these last 2 have some weight to them. Let's see. Another crazy thought I had. Revenant. Let's see. Armor type. Armor type looks heavy. So warrior, guardian, revenant. What if it's Rev Legend? So I'm gonna put Dylan there. Another weird thought I had after someone mentioned, what if this is a Rev Legend where they're channeling a Seraph or something? And then I thought, what if the Bard's a Rev Legend? What if everyone thinks Mesmer's getting Bard, and the Revenant channels a dead Bard, and the heavy plate Revenant becomes a Bard? That would be so funny. That would be so funny. Everyone's like, what? They get it? Okay. Let's see. Do I have anything else to add to this? All right. So I've got a tab here for Paragons. I'm gonna put that here. And I honestly don't think it's Paragon. I don't think it is. Yours to Seraph. Let's see. And then going to put this here. The symbol for the Seraph is the helmet with the wings. There is that. And then we got Dylan. I'm gonna put him up here. What else? What else? What are some other theories, other little nuggets of information? I would say a Seraph that's not a human seems kind of odd. Because, their whole thing is about, it's like the human... Well, it was originally, the human guard that would defend the queen, right? The largest of the 3 main military organizations in the human kingdom of Kryta. Yeah. It's not Paragon. You can't sing with a helmet covering your mouth. Whoever said that is coping. Battle commander who wields a shield, throws spears, use verbal commands to provide temporary boosts, and can, throughout this insight, help allies against hexes and conditions. Are the guardian angels of Elonian people and serve as that land's champions against malevolent threats. I don't know. I will say the armor, just the icon, doesn't even make me think Paragon at all, just from the picture. I wonder if the subreddit has any good guesses that as well. Hang on a second. Let's see, Guild Wars 2... second image. All right, yeah, there is a Reddit post on it. Let's see if they've got anything interesting here. Plot twist, new Ellie spec, the Arcane Knight. I would erupt in joy. Let's see. Monkey paw shield as new weapon. Colors don't indicate class. Paragon. What if it has to do with stat sets? First could be Minstrels. This could be Valkyrie. That would be a crazy feature, yeah. Very Paragon. I disagree. Paragons didn't wear helmets. That looks more Paladin-y. Does Guild Wars 2 have Valkyries? Like, actual Valkyrie? Hold on. I'm just going to look up Valkyrie and see what comes up. It just says it's a prefix for equipment. That's it. There's nothing else on the wiki like that. Like, Valkyrie, in different games, it would be like, it's usually a female. It's usually like female warriors, or if you're talking Valhalla, it's like winged warriors. Like they almost look like angels, but they're ready to throw hands. But it's almost always like warrior women. So having a subclass be Valkyrie, I don't think that's going to be a thing because there's so many male characters as well. And yeah, it does look a lot like the helmet that was just released. I did mention that earlier. It looks a lot like the Black Lion hat. Yeah. Where's the other page? Oops. Oh gosh. Hold on. Magnification. There we go. I've never seen an MMO consistently swing between it's over and we're so back as hard as Guild Wars 2. ArenaNet's production is a mystery. I don't think they would call it Valkyrie just because of the background of Valkyrie. Einherjar. Valkyries don't really fit the norms. Please be Paragon. Queen Jenna, a second image has been posted on the Guild Wars 2 feed. Stairs and barefoot. It's all coming together. I don't know what that's a picture from. Interesting. Color has no bearing on the class. So it's not obvious. Paladin is about specializations. The warrior class icon got an upgrade. Oh, they think it's the warrior. I mean, yeah, it does have similarities to the warrior icon, yeah. But certainly not the exact same. Fair, big card, don't elite 6 again, be sure. Definitely looks like a paladin or a crusader. Okay. All right. So kind of skimmed through that. Let's see. And where's my notes? Where's my scribbles? Crusader. Let's see. Thoughts. Okay. I think that's all that kind of scraped together. There was the background image. Hang on a second. Let me go back to the Reddit thing. Someone had messed with the background image. Oh, Noxxi's Heelbinger. The guy that inverted the colors. Yeah, I was looking for the inverted picture. About that new post. Okay. Yeah, it's like, so I guess this is kind of it. All right, I could probably show that as well. All right. I'm going to go into YouTube mode. So say hi to the future viewers if you want to, chat. All right. Hello, Guild Wars 2 gamers. Mukluk here, and we have got a little bit of Guild Wars 2 news. And it looks like we're going to have Guild Wars 2 news possibly 7 more times between now and 13 days from now. So, Guild Wars 2 has released another image, presumably, I saw it on X, but presumably it was also on Instagram and Blue Sky and all their other platforms, with a picture of a winged helmet that says 13 days. And of course, 2 days ago, we got the picture with the stringed instrument, guitar, ukulele, whatever, that said 15 days. So, got a lot of thoughts looking at this. So, I've done this just to gather my thoughts here. First of all is the schedule. And with the help of MS Paint, I have drawn this. So here, the red circle was when the guitar was released, and this red circle is today. The green circle is the date that they are counting down to. Since they skipped Tuesday, let's assume they're skipping Tuesday next week. Blue circles are every other weekday until the big day, skipping Tuesdays. And that would mean exactly 9 of them. And there are 9 classes. So, assuming that they're doing a teaser each day, I am guessing every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday until Tuesday the 15th, there's going to be another teaser like this of another Elite spec. And yes, I now believe that it is Elite specs. Elite specs are back in some way, shape, or form. Or at least, maybe not even Elite spec, maybe at least a new specialization for each class. Because now we've seen 2. Follow-up thoughts on that is 1, the background picture. The last time I made a video with the Bard guitar, I did it so quickly, I was so focused on the icon and this shape thing, I didn't even look at the background picture. And some folks that were on the Reddit inverted the colors on it and found this in the background. There is a humanoid standing on a beach, and there is a ship there and a bunch of people, and you can say that one's probably a char that are standing there as well. Don't really know what to do with that information, but that is there, which is kind of interesting. The next thing is the pink and the orange. Pink is the class color for Mesmers. Orange is the class color for Engineers, and there's a little bit of red in between where they meet, which is the class color for Elementalists. There were some people that were wondering if the Bard thing was going to be like a spec that spans multiple classes, like Mesmers and Engineers, and also Ellies get Bard. So then there would be another specialization per 3 classes. I think that theory is gone because this is the exact same colors as the last picture with the guitar. And I think it's just like a design choice they decided for these pictures. So I don't think the colors have anything to do with this. The next thing is, okay, let's, we got the specialization icon, same colors, same background picture as the last one. What is the winged helmet? What does the helmet mean? And we've got a lot of thoughts here. Some of these were mine, some of these were people in my chat, and we were all just kind of gathering together ideas. And we have just scribbled down a lot of little things, and we've written down Valkyrie. I don't think it's a Valkyrie. I could be wrong, but the reason I don't think it is Valkyrie, other than the stat type for Valkyrie in Guild Wars, Valkyrie's armor with a certain stat combination, I don't know of any Valkyries in Guild Wars 2. And even if they were in Guild Wars 2, Valkyries from other fantasy universes are typically warrior women. Sometimes they're winged warrior women, like they got like angel wings, like in mythology and stuff like that. And in others, it's just a warrior woman, like in Black Desert Online. I don't really think that it would work that way, because if you've got a male character and they go Valkyrie, it strikes me as odd. Not impossible, but odd. All right, next up is Paladin. I don't really think it's going to be Paladin. I'm just going to summarize these 3. People in chat threw out the names Paladin, Templar, and Crusader. All of these are possible. They all fit the vibe of that helmet, in my opinion. However, they're all so close to Guardian. They're all so incredibly close to Guardian. I don't know. I mean, it could absolutely be like a new specialization for Guardian if you're going to slap one of those titles on it, but I don't know if there's enough background information within the universe of Guild Wars to back that up. The last 2 I really like, and I'm gonna go to the one that I've less info first. I'm gonna go to Paragon for a second. Paragon was from Guild Wars 1. And I'm just going to read this excerpt here. The Paragon is a battle commander who wields a shield and throws spears. The Paragon uses verbal commands to provide temporary boosts and can, through his insight, help aid allies against hexes and conditions. Paragons are the guardian angels of the Elonian people and serve as that land's champions against malevolent threats. Now, I never saw a Paragon that had a full face mask, because they always kept their mouth clear because they were doing like basically shout skills. If you're a Guild Wars 2 character, it's like shout skills. So I don't know that it's going to be Paragon, but I know a lot of people would love for it to be Paragon. So I would say it's a possibility. But Paragon is something that we jotted down. and another is the Seraph. And the Seraph are, again, I'll just read it. The Seraph is the largest of the 3 main military organizations in the human kingdom of Kryta. Wearing white armor trimmed with gold, their shields bear wings out of respect to the goddess Dwayna. The Seraph are the army, the police force, and the protectors of the populace. The Seraph has influence across the whole of Kryta, maintaining outposts in every major town and city and patrolling the kingdom's roads. The Seraph are also the most beleaguered military organization, struggling to stop the constant siege from bandits and centaurs while keeping troops well supplied. So the Seraph, again, they mentioned the human kingdom. Seraphs have been mostly human. And then someone in my community made this dumb joke, and it actually got the wheels turning. And what they said was something along the lines of, what if it's just a revenant thing and you're just channeling Logan Thackeray, which, one, Logan's not dead. And they said, you're channeling the spirit of Logan Thackeray, and then you're just chasing after them feetsies. And after laughing, I was like, wait a minute. And I remembered something else. There is some very famous dead seraphs that a revenant could potentially channel. And based on, my own, memory, which is Swiss cheese, I'm probably forgetting some. The biggest one that jumped to my mind is a certain Dylan Thackeray. And this is a very minor spoiler from the book, but it is related to present-day Guild Wars 2, because the books are a prequel. Dylan Thackeray was Logan's brother, and he was the commander of the Seraph. And he passed away at one point, and Logan took his place to help protect Queen Jenna. So there is a very famous dead Thackeray who was a leader of the Seraph. If they did a Revenant channels the Seraph kind of thing, maybe. I would say it's a possibility. I'm not even saying it's a strong possibility. I'm just saying this is a possibility. It could be related to them. They very much liked having wings on their shields and on their helmets and stuff like that. Another idea that we had was, this is the warrior class icon. This is this one. Obviously, there's some similarities there. Maybe it's just a newer warrior build. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing. Additionally, it does look heavy, like heavy plate, which, is typically warrior, guardian, or revenant. Those are the classes that can use heavy plate. So maybe this is something for one of the 3 of them. I'm not sure which one. If they did something really crazy, like, maybe the Elementalist gets Eldritch Knight, and then all of a sudden they can wear gear that looks like it's heavy armor. That would be really cool. It would also be very out of the norm for Guild Wars 2. They have so far never done a thing where, you could use armor of different armor types on a character. That would be very new. I kind of doubt that, but we jotted that down as well. And yeah, I think that's basically it for like what I've written down here. One other person pointed out that this looks extremely similar to the newest helmet that was added in the Black Lion treasure chest in game right now, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to zoom in on it a little bit. So I showed this in a news video recently, but it does strike some, major similarities to this hat as well. Not sure if that means anything at all, but there's that. But yeah, new helmet, looks heavy armor, probably for Warrior, Guardian, or Revenant. If it is a Revenant channel, the first thing that enters my mind is the Seraph, and the most famous Seraph I can think of is Dylan Thackeray. Could be completely off about that. If it is not a Revenant thing, and it's for the Warrior or the Guardian, some fancy words that we thought of besides Paragon are Crusaders, Templars, Paladins, and Valkyries. So, could be wrong on all counts, but it was fun to brainstorm this. No longer think the color is relevant because they did the pink and orange thing for both of the pictures so far. It's probably related to the new expansion logo. And the background art is still the same as far as I can tell, unless they made a really minor change that I haven't spotted back there. But the background art I did not notice in the last video, and so it's been pointed out to me to point out into this one. So I think that's it. That's all I've got. If you have any thoughts or brainstorms on what this could be, and think about like any other organizations in Guild Wars 2 that use heavy helmets that look like this, maybe think about any other famous legends for revenants that could potentially channel, that they could channel that used a helmet like this, or that this might represent. And you know what, I just had one more stupid thought. What if we were completely wrong about the bard symbol? Everyone thought like, oh man, this is going to be Mesmer, right? What if revenants are channeling dead bards, and that was the revenant one? Because revenants, they're a wild card. They can just channel anything. So maybe oh man, that would be the ultimate slap to Mesmers after the minstrels thing years ago, is give revenants the guitar. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got for now. Fun to brainstorm. Let me know what you guys think. I'm curious if you guys came up with any ideas that I did not. There's a lot of lore about this game. I know a lot. I don't know everything. Tell me what you figured out, and I'll fight you in the comments section down below. And if I'm right about the release schedule thing, we'll probably have another one of these tomorrow. Okay, there we go, chat, and cut. It's a wrap. That's all the brainstorming I have on that topic at this time. Let's see. Zilly says, it's a big stretch, but what if we are looking at this the wrong way? What if expansion 6 is minor, and these are teasers to Guild Wars 3 announcement that they leaked in the shareholder meeting? The shareholder meeting was a mistranslation. We've already looked into that multiple times. Although it's completely possible they're making a Guild Wars 3, they're definitely working on some kind of side project. They haven't announced it. So that means it's probably years away. Because like when people first announce a game, it's usually still years out. Except Hi-Fi Rush. That came out same day. But that was an exception, not the rule. Dude, that would be insane. Dude, honestly, just think about that for a second. What if they released all these 9 classes and like, you like that? Yeah, that's coming soon in Guild Wars 3. And you're like, oh! And then they're like, in 5 years. Oh. Like, yeah, that'd be amazing. I don't think that's anytime soon. Just the fact that they're doing these things now, and we know there's another expansion coming out in a few months, I think it's for the new expansion. All right. Okay. Yeah, with that, chat, I am out of time. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I hope you guys had fun. My voice is shot. I love playing Rogue Trader, but it's so much like reading and doing funny voices and stuff that it's like after 4 hours of it, I always need a break, and now I need that break. So I am going to step out for now. Thank you guys. If you happen to be new to my channel, my name is Muck. I stream every evening and every weekday morning. I'll be back in about 5 hours for the evening stream. I'll be starting something new tonight because we just finished Honor Mode Baldur's Gate 3, and we just finished Lies of P DLC. So I'll be looking through the game suggestions you guys made on the game recommendation website, as well as game keys that I have, and we will try something new this evening in 5 hours. Hit the follow button here on Twitch. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. These are links to my 2 YouTube channels if you want to see all the videos I make. Lots of them coming out, and a special thank you to the patrons. They keep me in business. Couldn't do it without them. There's a link to that in the chat if you're interested. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. And if you're on the Twitch side, I will raid someone in the Guild Wars 2 directory just to support another creator. Let's see who is live right now. Do I know anyone who's live right now? Hang on a second. Let's see. Giveaways that will change your life. Let's see. I do not know this person. There is, it looks like a VTuber or something that is streaming Guild Wars 2. I really don't know anybody live right now. I am going to raid Lipsility. Hopefully they're decent. I don't know anything about them. If you like them, hit follow. If you don't, then that's fine. We all have different tastes and stuff. Then you just quietly step out. Don't be rude. I'll see you guys again later tonight, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one.